Hey, car shoppers! Car gurus here with your word of the day. Strict. It's not a crowd favorite, but wouldn't it be nice if there was a car shopping site so strict it only said cars were great deals if they were actually great deals based on details like mileage and accident history? There is! Visit cargurus.com and find a deal that's 100% certifiably great. Seriously. Don't make us say it twice.
Aptitude, expertise, genius, gift.
I'm the fucking talent. Hey, what's happening, Mike Schmidt, 40-year-old boy? Oh, fuck, was that AMDJ? I can't even finish it. Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you doing? Let's go to check the traffic and weather together on the ones. Let's go out to the Enid's Expressway. The Enids? Let's go to the Enid's Expressway. That's what I say we do. How would all of you Enids out there traveling on the expressway? I don't know if you know this. We have an expressway exclusively for Enids. The Triple E, we call it. The expressway exclusively for Enids. Oh, Enids, saddle up and board your Escalade. It's a quadruple E now. What the fuck's happening? Holy Jesus Christ. An expressway exclusively for Enids and Escalades. Somebody grab the wheel. How about Jesus? Would you do that for me, sir? Oh, you. Hi, everybody. It's a show. My voice is beat to shit. I apologize. And also, I'm a little late. I understand I'm a little late with this show. It's not as late as the previous show, but a skosh late is what I'm going to call it. But I have a good reason. I know you're thinking to yourselves, he couldn't possibly have a good reason after last week's show where I had last week, 2 weeks ago? Look, don't fucking pigeonhole me, man. I did a show a couple of weeks ago, certainly, and I mentioned that I had gone up to the compound of one fearful Jesuit. And when I was up there, I had sworn to be a monk. By the way, get this, there's like 5 things I didn't finish from that show. I realized that after I put them up, I never explained what potatoes and a receipt were. Like, I never told you fucking guys. There was a whole point to get to with potatoes and a receipt, because there was a thing I wanted to show you on YouTube that you needed to check out. And what happens? Well, I forget to tell you. Do I tell you now? Maybe not. Maybe I tease you. Maybe I keep you around. Maybe I make you wait till the end of the show here for potatoes and receipts. Not that anybody came back after 2 weeks ago. They were like, oh, man, I tuned in for fucking potatoes and receipts. You don't have to fake laugh. I promise. I apologize. I have a friend here, and we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, certainly I told you that I was 2 weeks ago. I was at the Jesuit compound up north dealing with monks as they built ships and bottles, and they made rice paintings and things like that, and they told me to be quiet, and I said, sure. And then it got out of hand, and I wound up not doing a podcast. Well, now you're thinking to yourself, well, Mike, yeah, obviously you kicked that vow of silence, and you came back a couple of weeks ago, you did a show. Where have you been the last 2 weeks? You're not going to believe it, folks. Get this. I'm at the club, right? Where I'm at with a lot of the movers and shakers, the masters of the universe. We always go there. We trade stocks. We talk about our conquests, certainly. And we sit in chairs, we smoke pipes, we read newspapers, because that's what you do at the club. And then there's a butler, he comes by and he brings you some sort of a gimlet and a sandwich. And dude, I'll tell you what, nothing I like more than a gimlet and a sandwich. Oh, you know, I've talked before about you watch those old-timey shows, and they're like, hey, man, bring me a ham sandwich and a cup of coffee. And it's the most disgusting, vile thing I've ever heard in my life. Who's drinking? Look, I don't understand why you're drinking coffee anyway. That smell, that's like a liquid where they just boiled African socks. I don't know what the fuck you're eating a coffee thing for, but and then pairing it with a ham sandwich. What if that's a hot ham sandwich? Oh, good Christ. What if you're having like a Monte Cristo with a cup of coffee? And I know Monte Cristo seems like a breakfast item because of the French toast. But back the fuck off. Don't drink coffee with anything, ever. Stop drinking coffee, period. You know what? Let's do it. Let's put these fucking Starbucks cocksuckers out of business. They're smug. They're out there with their fucking chillers. and their fucking cold brews and their bullshit. Hey, you want to make coffee? It's hot fucking coffee. Coffee should be a punishment. Fuck putting coffee and milk together. Don't put any sugar in this. I don't want a strawberry fucking goofy Fruit Loop hula hoop nonsense. Get that the fuck out of here. Coffee should only come in a cup with Greek letters on it, and it should be in a fucking machine where you press a button and it whirs. I don't want a coffee unless I hear whirring. If I hear whirring, there better be coffee in the vicinity. It goes hand in hand, folks. If I hear whirring, there better be coffee. If I see a coffee, I better hear whirring fucking right in the background to know where that fucking coffee came from. Don't fucking proselytize at me, stand on a countertop and go, I'm a barista. I can draw a leaf in your beverage. Fuck off, man. Get a job. Go back to college. Nobody gives a shit about you drawing Dagwood Bumstead in my fucking cappuccino. It's not happening, man. I don't know why you're fake laughing at that. All right. Sure, of course, why not? Literally, now everybody has dropped their iPod vaginas, rifling through Wikipedia, trying to find who Dagwood Bumstead is. By the way, don't rifle through Wikipedia. You'll get fingerprints all over your computer screen. I'm telling you right now. I try. I go there and I just, and is it riffle? Is it riffling through something or rifling through something? I don't, it's spelled like rifle, but it could, it's rifling through, correct? Yeah, like you're rifling through a filing cabinet looking for OxyContin. Don't ask me why that showed up. I don't know. I guess. And look, so I guess here's the lesson. Don't keep your OxyContin in the filing cabinet, because that's the first fucking place I'm going to look. I'm going to jimmy it with a nail file. I'm going to rifle through it, look for some fucking horse pills that'll let me sleep for a month. And then, guess what happens? A month later, I wake up and I go, oh man, I was supposed to do a show. That's a great excuse. I rifled through somebody's goddamn filing cabinet, found some OxyContin and choked him down and slept for a fucking month. You don't give me a break for that? How do you not give me a break? That's certainly a better excuse than hanging out with monks and their ball sacks. I fucking just told you. I rifled through a goddamn filing cabinet, found some oxy, choked it down because I wanted to give it a day in court. I don't find pills without taking them, folks. That's how I handle my business. I'm never going to look at a pill and go, wow, that's odd, and put it on a shelf. Fuck you. I find a pill, I take it. Obviously, that pill wants to be taken, or it wouldn't have put itself in such a conspicuous place, like a filing cabinet underneath all of your old taxes. Oh, folks, I go through your filing cabinets, I rifle through, I find your old taxes, I throw them on the floor, willy and or nilly, and I scoop out the oxy that you've got there in a goddamn candy dish, like mince at the front of a fucking old restaurant. I scoop it up and I choke it down, and I pass out right there on the fucking floor. And then what happens? The show doesn't get put up and you're furious. And you're like, you know what? Next time the show doesn't come up on time, you're like, and only if it's 1 week. After 1 week, if the show doesn't come up, just go, well, Mike's usually got to show up after a week. Usually strong word, doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence. But if the second week comes, you can go, oh man, I hope Mike didn't fucking rifle open a filing cabinet and take OxyContin and fall asleep on somebody's floor, because that would suck. But now you're always going to worry about it. If the show's ever late, you're always going to find yourself thinking that. And that's good. That's all I care about. I want to put stuff in your goddamn brain. But you remember last week, it was 3 weeks I hadn't done a show because I was up there with Jesuit and doing all the fucking nonsense at the compound. Well, now this is 2 weeks. I told you I was at the club. And Winston is there. He brings me my gimlet. He hands me my Rob Roy. He takes my umbrella. There's a shower outside. I take my usual seat, and I won't lie, I start pontificating a little bit. I start talking about some things that I know because I feel comfortable in the club with a lot of blue bloods like myself. We go ahead, we back and forth, we trade. Not a lot of forth, more back. It's me talking and them listening, and that's how I fucking like it. So I start talking about a peach of a honey that I saw walking at the diner. What the fuck? I saw a peach of a honey over there at the old diner. She flashed me her gams and I gave her a pinch. Oh, what a time we had. I had lunch in 1938. It was fantastic. I hope you enjoyed it. See, you're making me laugh because you're fake laughing at my nonsense. All right, good. All right, so look, if you ever see a peach of a honey and she flashes your gams, give her such a pinch. Oh, my goodness. And so that's what happened. And you know what I ordered in that diner? Oh, ham sandwich and coffee. 1938 lunch, choking it down and crying every second. Fuck me, but I had to impress her. She had to know that I was from the proper decade. Because if I walk in there and I order a fucking Coronado, she's going to go, who the fuck are you? Goddamn Generalissimo Francisco Franco? Get out of my diner and give me a swift kick with one of those gams. I don't even get time for a pinch. All right, so I'm at the club. And I'm there. I've got a suit on. I look good. Well, look, fuck no. Everybody looks good in a suit. Unless you're wearing some backy, fucking drowsy suit. Why drowsy? Why drowsy? Because I think, you know what? Because I think this. Did you ever see Dr. Detroit? Which, by the way, you should. If you haven't, oh my God, it's glorious. It's free right now on Amazon Prime. And there's a scene where Dan Aykroyd has to go. Now, look, I'm going to tell you this. Dan Aykroyd tries to go and rescue a woman who has been arrested for prostitution. He has to try to get her off in court. Ha ha. And get this, it's a comedy. So he shows up, and his plan is, I don't know what to do here. And then he sees a guy, a disgusting man, you know what this man looks like? He looks like a human droopy dog. His face is covered in folds. He hasn't shaved in days, and you can smell him through the television screen. And he's wearing a white suit, like a white, almost a seersucker with a weird looking, like one of those string ties, and a goofy ass fucking old timey southerny hat. And Dan Aykroyd's plan to get the hooker out of the courtroom is he pays this sot to change clothes with him so he can disguise himself as a Southern lawyer and somehow convince the court to let this prostitute go free. And he goes with this plan only because he sees a panel on the wall that says, like, the judge is like Beauregard T. Justice or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? It's like so stupid. But literally his plan all comes together. He's like, oh my God, this guy's obviously some sort of cracker. And then he looks over and he sees this hobo dressed in fucking horrible off-white, perhaps eggshell, maybe a crew. And he makes him take his suit off and he throws it on. And then he goes in and he pretends he's a Southerner. Okay. And I'm telling you folks, it's classic. But when I said a drowsy suit, I was thinking of this man because, and also I will tell you this dude looks like fucking 195 pounds of melted ice cream. I mean, this fucking guy is just a mess. And Aykroyd is, a Natalie attired fucking college professor, because why wouldn't he be? Of course he is. So he's there and he buys the clothes and magically transforms this absolute garbage wrap of a suit into what could only be described as a fashionable take on the Southern lawyer. And he looks good because it fits him perfectly. And you're like, there is no way Aykroyd, who you by the way, you're introduced to Aykroyd in the beginning of the movie. He's a speed walker who's in tremendous shape. There's no way he's going to get form fit by a suit being worn by a fucking golem. That's not going to fucking work. This dude is awful. He looks like a Keane painting, just big, bashful, sad eyes, and just fucking terrified that fucking Aykroyd's going to do anything to fucking bother him. And then he convinces him with like $20 to give him his fucking suit. What a mess. That movie's got a lot of plot holes in it. That's not the least of them. That is truly not the least of them. You want to know? This might be the least of them. Somehow, Fran Drescher is a whore and a fantastic cook. So she has to make Indian food, so they go get Kentucky Fried Chicken and like tomato juice, and she puts it in a catering dish, and she somehow makes chicken tikka masala that fools people from India. Get the fuck out of here, nanny. That's not working for anybody. Donna Dixon's in it. She's attractive. A lot of hot girls. Howard Hessman, gay in his real life, but playing smooth walker, a pimp in this movie. Not that that matters, but that's how good an actor Howard Hessman is. You had no idea he was gay until I just told you that, right? That's how fucking fantastic an actor that dude was. He totally fucking bamboozled all of you. So now, I'll tell you what, if Hessman comes up to you at a party, he slides a hand like in your pants and he like grabs you, gives you a little goose, like you were a diner at a 1938 fucking, or a waitress at a 38 diner, then you got to give in to his whims because he's fucking Hessman. He's smooth. Why not? So I'm at the club. And, I'm taking care of business. As I mentioned, Winston has brought over my drink. I'm entertaining everybody as I usually do, except for fucking Collins, who can't stand me, who doesn't like my voice. He doesn't like the fact that I talk and I bluster. He thinks I'm phony. He thinks I'm new money. So Collins approaches me and he wants to make a wager. And, of course, I'm interested in money like the next guy. So I say, well, point of parliamentary procedure. Collins, what is your, pray tell, what is this wager you speak of? And his wager is that Mike, podcaster Mike, blustering, gimlet drinking Mike, can't maintain total silence for a full month. If I do this, he's prepared to pay me $100,000. But if I don't do this, I have to resign from the club immediately and admit I'm a fraud. Well, let me tell you something, Collins. You're on. So Collins inexplicably has Dr. Smith from Lost in Space as a lawyer. And he says to him, go ahead and make the arrangements. And as I often do, I think to myself, well, you know what? Now, Mike, now you definitely stuck your foot in it. Because you're a podcasting person. And he's betting that you can't stay silent for a month. And me just coming off a 3-week absence. That just seems cruel to you, the listener. But yet, $100,000 would solve a whole lot of problems and buy a whole lot of gimlets. So I think to myself, this is a bet worth taking. So here's what I do. I'm worried, of course. As you know, I'm, what's the word, verbose? I talk a bit. I don't mind you shouting to the rooftops. I will talk to anyone and everyone. A mailman, a dog, a grocery man, a milkman. If there's a milkman, he and I are going to have a long discussion. The fuck are you doing here? Holy shit, Oberweiss. Get back in the truck and drive back to 1950 and tell the Iceman I need a block. What the hell, baby? So I think to myself, I'm a talker. That's who I am. It's what I do. Maybe not so much recently, and certainly not on time, but I am a talking person. If you have microphone, we'll babble. So, hey, folks, I just made that up right now. Let's have a moment of silence for what a fucking genius I am. How about it? Thank you. I got a thumbs up from my guest. So, by the way,
in a gimlet.
What's in a gimlet?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my future. What is it? It's what is it? Vodkas and olives and shit. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? Okay, vodkas and olives and pickle juice and bourbon.
Either vodka or gin and lime juice.
I was pretty close.
Well, you weren't even close.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I did not have my glasses on. I thought the limes were olives. I thought they're both green. They're both round. I'm like, well, clearly those are olives of some sort. But I knew it was vodka, didn't I? Mm-hmm. Step off, Gigantor. All right. So sure enough, I think to myself, well, again, as I've mentioned, I've stepped in it at this point. I've made the bet. I've shaken hands with Collins in front of everybody, in front of Wilson and Jenkins and Smith. I can't look like a jerk in front of Wilson and Jenkins and Smith. This is a bet I've chosen to take. So Dr. Smith makes the financial arrangements, of course, and I speak to Winston and I say, Winston, let me ask you this. Is there any way I can use the basement of the club? And he's like, I don't know, sir. We have plans for the basement. I say, Winston, please. I've been in this club for centuries, it seems. Never once have we used the basement for any function of any kind. I'll have to check, sir. But I don't believe the basement is available. All right, so Winston's going to check. And I know, again, I'm going to have trouble being quiet for a month. It just seems like a long time. I was able to pull off 3 weeks, but a month? Yee, that's long. That's, you know what that is? An extra 7 days. So I think there's no way I can pull it off, right? So sure enough, I decide there's only one way to ensure that I can win this bet and make $100,000. And that is to have a surgeon sever my vocal cords. So I start making some calls. I dial up. Now here's the thing. I call the ear and nose specialists. Not interested. Couldn't possibly help me, they said. I said, can you point me in the right direction? They said, have you spoken to a throat specialist? I said, thank you. Thank you very much. When did you guys split up? I'm fucking great at this. You know what? I didn't want to do this show because I suck, but I just came up with that. I talked to the ear and nose dudes. Where's the throat? Why'd you split up? God damn it. All right. This feels less like a personal talking to you podcast and more of a just rambling thing. And I apologize for that, folks. If it's nothing you're interested in, please find another dial. There's plenty of stations here on your FM dial. Please scroll around and find somebody you like. Go find Sky Daniels over there at WMET. See what he's got for you. All right. Go find Bobby Stroud and the Stroud Crowd over there at XRT at 93.1. How about it? Let's talk about all Chicago radio. All right. So I asked the surgeon, I'm like, look, here's the deal. And first, not the ear nose guys. I go to the throat guy, call him up. And I got to be honest with you. I make the first call and we're not connecting at all. We're talking past one another. Because I'm talking about severing my vocal cords and they're talking about possibly having a G-spot in my throat. And it dawns on me, and sure enough, I check. I've called the deep throat specialist. So, Dr. Lovelace can't help me. Dr. Reams, Dr. Holmes, Dr. Lovelace. Dr. Reams, Dr. Holmes, Dr. Lovelace. So they could not. So I had to find the right number. That's an incorrect number. It was pretty dumb, but I enjoyed it. I accidentally called the deep throat specialist, so now I've got to call. You spit up water. That's fun. I like that.
The actual plot.
Yes, it is. Of course. What? Look, you don't think I'm going to go into specifics? You don't think I'm going to? You think I'm just going to futz around? See, it's not good if I just say I called the deep throat specialist. Nobody gives a flying fuck.
Literally the stupid plot.
Yes,
Oh
that's
God.
the plot of the movie. So I make sure that so we
really good.
we bring us all in together. So I accidentally called them, and I decided I can't. They're not going to help me at all, certainly. But it doesn't stop us from having a very pleasant 20-minute conversation. But again, talking past one another, it's just not getting it done. So I go ahead and I check back. I open my Rolodex. I scroll through, and I find the throat specialist. I should have looked under T in the first place. So I dial him up, and I'm like, "Hey doc, how you doing?" He goes, "Good." He goes, "Is this Mike the verbose speaker, the podcaster?" I said, "Yes." I go, "I need you to sever my vocal cords." And he said, "Did Collins put you up to this?" I said, "Well, I wouldn't say that he put me up to it, but he made a bet. He made a wager with me that I couldn't keep quiet for a month." He goes, "Oh, well, you're never going to be able to do that." I go, "Exactly, which is why I need your help, sir." And he said, "Where do you plan on spending this month?" I said, "The basement of the club." He goes, "The basement of the club is off limits, sir." I said, "How dare you? I've already checked with Winston. He's checking with the other guys. I don't know their names. I don't look at the fucking the masthead or whatever when I walk in the fucking joint. I know there's Winston. That's it." So he's like, "All right, well, I can sever your vocal cords. I can do this for you if you really think this is something you need to do." I said, "All right, that's fine." And he goes, "When can you come in?" I said, "When can you do it? You tell me. I need, because it's a month and it starts in a week." And he said, "All right, well, that's fine." I go, "How much does this procedure cost?" He says, $101,000. Now, I don't have to tell you people. This puts me in the hole $1,000. Even if I win this bet, even if somehow Winston lets me use the basement, even if Dr. Smith crunches the numbers, even if I get the vocal cord severed and I'm able to maintain a somber silence for a goddamn month in the face of all the taunting that I'm sure Collins would be doing, I wind up $1,000 cash poor just from fucking winning this bet. But if I don't go through with it, I have to quit the club and admit I'm a fraud. And I can't do it with Jenkins, Williams, and Smith. I couldn't possibly in front of them. So I had to think about it. I had to really think about it. And I mean, it was, it's $101,000. That's, I can look. So let's talk about my Kickstarter. Look, you're not on the hook for the whole $101,000 because I'm going to win the bet. I just need $1,000 from you so I can have somebody sever my vocal cords. See, that's what I want. How great would that be? See, like I said a couple of weeks ago, I'm just going to be like a fucking Make-A-Wish adult. If I get the cancer, and I'm gonna, and I call it the cancer because I'm the ancient man. It's the rhyme of the ancient mariner. Me talking about the cancer. Christ Almighty, I'm just gonna have a Kickstarter and just go, man. I just want blowjobs until I die. That's it. Blowjobs until I die, please. Just piles of cocaine and heroin and needles and whatever the fuck you got. I don't give a shit. Fucking bourbon and pickle juice. We'll invent a drink. The on your way out. The fucking exit. The check, please. We'll call it that. The check, please. Bourbon and pickle juice because I got cancer and I don't give a fuck. Check, please. I'd be honest with you. I've had to think about this. So certainly, as you can tell, I didn't get my vocal cord severed. And I can tell you that I have still not admitted that I'm a fraud in front of Jenkins and Williams and Smith. That's never happening. But if next week I wind up late or I'm not here, I may have made the money and I may have pulled the trigger on it. So I just want you to know. I'm letting you know what's gone on in the past and certainly what to expect going forward in the future. I have no end for this bit. I just made it up out of nowhere, and so I have no end. So we're just going to move on. Hi, what's happening, man? Podcast, right?
Guest.
Should be fun. Oh, yeah, I can talk about you, I suppose. Folks, you've heard my guest talking and fake laughing so far up to this point. And guest is a strong word because they don't have a microphone. They're just kind of observing this nonsense happen in real time. And I will tell you this. They were real pushy about it. I'm not going to... They wanted...
Demand content.
They wanted it this afternoon, and then they wanted it this evening. Whatever. I'm exhausted by you people and your demands. The demand of one show a week during a pandemic. Nobody gives a fuck. I've been doing it for 13 years. I don't. It's whatever. It's astonishing to me. But you're all very kind. Anyway, but this gentleman. Not normally. Now, I'm not in the compound. I will tell you that. I am not in the compound. I'm back from the compound. But it turned out, get this, I left my shoes up there. And so he has come home to return them. I appreciate it very much. This is our great friend, the host of the Paranoid Strain podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, Fearful Jesuit is here in my living room.
Hi. I'm Fearful Jesuit.
That's him doing his fucking crazy voice that he does. He has a vocoder. He has to speak through a vocoder. He's like, he's like Roger. and because just like Roger, he wants to be your man. Little Zap. Are you in Zap? Were you in Zap? I don't think you were in Zap. Zap was California knows how to party. So Jesuit is here, and I will tell you this: was there a chance? Was there a plan of him coming? Was this planned? Well, I don't know. If you could call a text out of the blue that's like, "Hey, I'm coming to Los Angeles." A plan. And I again, as he's like, "Hey, I'm coming to LA." And I'm like, "Great." And he's like, I'm going to be on a train. Clang, 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 clang. He actually texted 5 clangs. And I went, "Oh, all right, cool." And he's like, "Cool. So you'll just meet me at the station then?" And I look, I like people. And also I'm a liar. No, I don't mind people, but look, there's been a pandemic afoot, and all of us have changed, and it's weird. It's just a weird thing to entertain or see people or bring them places. I keep thinking that I'm enthusiastic, and I can't wait to see all my friends. It's going to be fucking awesome. But I mean, this wasn't even a plan. Like, this was more of a threat. It was like, "Hey, I'm be in fucking Los Angeles." Cool. Yeah, I'll be on the train. You're on the train? What are you, a fucking hitman? Who travels by train? That was another thing that threw me off. He's like, "I'm coming to LA." It's like, great. And he's like, "I'll be on the train." I'm like, all right, fucking Gene Wilder and Silver Streak. I mean, fine. I don't know what that means. And then I thought I'd like to live and die in LA when the fucking the Asian fucking FBI agent came in with the money and he got fucking gacked by fucking William L. Peterson. It just seemed like such. And look, I love the train. I've been on the train. But here's a joke from my old. I took a train once to the Midwest. I went into the. No, you know what? Is this? This is my joke. It is, but it doesn't sound like mine because it sounds like another guy. But you'll hear it. I went into the bathroom in the train and it said you please place used razor blades here. And any form of transportation where I may have to shave during it is a real detriment to my travel time. But that sounds like a Seinfeld bit, right? But I know it's my bit. I know I did it, and I did it on stage in the Midwest. Along with, here's another great. I'm just going to drag up old material from when I was in the Midwest. Get this, everybody. Here's one of my I must have said this on the show before. I certainly have. And I will tell you this, Fearful Jesuit.
I'll tell you.
I know you will, because Fearful Jesuit maintains that he has heard every one of my shows. Now, that's a lot easier these days, because literally... It's
like half as many.
One a month, yeah. But I'll tell you what, it almost wasn't a show this month. Did you hear?
You almost got your vocal cord severed.
I made a bet with Collins. Someone is going to know what that means. Or someone will really know what all of that means. All right. So I worked in Cedar Point, Iowa. Where did Buddy Holly crash? I don't know, Buddy Holly crash, Iowa. Is that where it is, baby?
Yeah.
We're going down Iowa. Yeah.
No one cares about Big Bopper, Idaho.
But and so the club that I played at was on Buddy Holly Drive in the town where he had crashed. And so I went up on stage and I was like, well, thank you. I'm glad to be here. And again, a bar full of jugheads. And I just went, here we are on Buddy Holly Drive, which is ironic because if he had, probably don't name the street after him. Boo! Too soon, really, to take on Buddy Holly here in 1993? Really? I'm out of line. Are you the final remaining descendant of the Crickets? You're here to make sure. What if this person's here every week with a clipboard? Oh no, I'm here to, please don't. Oh, don't. How dare you? Don't make that joke. But I did. I didn't care. Thank you. Yeah, but I loved it. When I did it, I was thrilled, of course, because that's what I loved doing was all that stuff. Because I didn't do stand up for crowds. I did stand up for me. I wanted to make me laugh, and hopefully one girl in every bar, and just so they would come up and go, "You are fantastic. Have you seen my nipples?" And I'd be like, "Well, not yet, but I'll tell you what. I got all night." Because I am a fan of nipples. I like them. I'll rate them. Show me. Do me a favor. Somebody send me a picture of your nipples. Ladies, please. Don't button that shirt, Jesuit. Could not be less interested in your nom de plume nipples. Oh, grim. He did pull it out. He actually pulled it out. This is a terrifying thing. I'm not happy about it. That, you know what? You know what? You got coffee and a ham sandwich nipples, my friend. Terrifyingly awful. All right. So Jesuit is here and literally did text me. He's like, "Hey man, I'm coming to Los Angeles." I'm like, "Great." He's like, "So meet me at the station." Fine. And, but here's the issue. He's like, "Great. I get into town at 9:30 a.m. And
normal time."
And I'm like, "Great. I go to bed at 9:20 a.m. So, I guess I don't know what to tell you here. But again, I did not say that because he's my friend and he's done good things for me, and I didn't want to leave him in a lurch, certainly. So and it would be nice to see him, but I'm more worried about the fact that my sleep schedule is so fucked that I can't, like, getting up to go there. I could do it, but I was worried I truly wouldn't fall asleep till like 7:30 because I've been, again, as you know, in the past month or so, and by month I mean year, I've been doing that thing where, I might sleep at like 6:30 p.m. until 9:30 p.m. and that gives me that second wind I need to stay up until 8 a.m. And then I'll sleep from 8 a.m. until noon, and then I'll get up and then I'll nap from 2 to 3. I mean, it's just that. And let's put it this way: this is not insomnia, and this is not, oh, I can't sleep, I must catnap. No. If I could sleep all 24 hours, I'd happily and easily do it. I might nod off in the middle of this bullshit. I mean, if I close my eyes and tilt my head 1 inch to the right, forget it. Gone. I mean, just a fucking Z festival. And that's just the way it is. It's not a thing where like, oh, my sleep schedule, it's like I can't sleep, but then I can't sleep. No, I can fucking sleep all the time. I choose to stay awake. And here's what I like to do. Like I sometimes, look, all right, I won't lie. Sometimes to avoid doing the show, I go to sleep. Oh, sleep is delightful. You know what? I do a show in my sleep and I'm great. And then I wake up and I go, oh man, that wasn't a real show. I got to do another show again. Sleep. Oh, go to sleep. I love it. And then I sit down at the microphone and I go, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a show now. Oh, I'm hungry. I love food. So then I get up and I eat a teaspoon of baking powder. I mean, like, because there's nothing in my house, but it doesn't matter because it just makes my mouth do something else that convinces it doesn't have to talk into a fucking microphone. It's so bad. Oh, man. You know what I'm going to eat? A stick of butter. Oh, won't that be delightful? That sort of thing where I go to sleep and then I go to eat and I just do all of these things to go ahead and try to avoid life. Don't you want to avoid life? I don't understand life. Why is life always there? It just doesn't fucking go away. You ever close the windows and hope when you wake up, life will be gone? No, wouldn't that be great? And I don't mean like death. Like, I don't want to be dead. I just mean like if you looked outside and it was just gone. What if everything was just awesomely gone and all you had was your house with your books, Because apparently I'm Burgess Meredith in the Twilight Zone. Time enough at last. Smash. All right. I'm going to do that. I'm going to remake that episode, but with food instead of books. Time enough at last. And just dive into a pile of Hostess pies. And it's a happy ending this time. Fuck my glasses. The only thing that happens if my glasses break is I don't know the flavor of the pies. Who gives a shit about the flavor of the pies? Lecter, he cares about the flavor of the pies. He certainly cares about the Silence of the Lambs and the flavor of the pies, baby. I love cadence and language. All right, hi. I'm excited to be here. Jesuit is here. So I had to pick him up this morning at, I will tell you this. I texted him back because I had a bright idea. I should have thought of it. I think of these things late. I'm not smart. I'm not quick on the uptake. I'm quick. I can fire shit out of my mouth. But as far as my brain, it's a fucking racetrack that with a closed loop. I mean, it just doesn't go anywhere. You drive around and smash into a wall. It's fucking terrible. Because it happened with another thing I'll tell you about in a second. But Jesuit is like, hey, I'm coming to town, L.A., 9:30. And I'm like, great. All right, I guess I'll be there. And then I'm like so sad. Because what the fuck? I don't want to go anywhere at 9:30, dude. Look, if I'm on the couch, I don't want to walk to the bedroom at 9:30. That's way too much distance. I'm fucking planted. I got roots firmly planted. But I can't leave my friend hanging. And also, I want to see my friend. It's been a while. So, but then last night, I forced myself to go to sleep at it was like 2:30 in the morning or 3. I don't even remember what fucking time it was. It was 3 o'clock. And so I'm like, all right, you just close your eyes. Just do it. Because I will say this, it's not that I can't sleep, but again, I've been up now again, so I'm not tired at 3 in the morning. That's the point. So, so I text him, and also, by the way, there might be some fibbing going on, and I'm going to say this, and Jesuit might be angry. I may have texted you that at 3, but I might not have gone to bed at 3. But when I texted him, I go, I'm crashing, because you know what that means? Don't text me back, man. Don't try to get a hold of me.
I was asleep.
I couldn't be less interested in hearing from you. I'm crashing right now. Don't write me back. And what I did was I presented him a veritable slew of alternatives to me picking him up at 9:30 in the morning in Los Angeles.
You did not.
I did. Here's what I said. I said, hey, man, I'm crashing. Just letting you know. Because also, by the way, please don't think that Jesuit took a train to meet me in Los Angeles. I don't know what happened. But Jesuit took a bus to a train, to a boat, to a helicopter, to a scooter. He took a bird scooter to my house. He's got a Lime scooter that he actually rode onto the bus.
Underwater, it's time to evolve.
It was ridiculous. He actually steamrollered. He laid down and just steamrollered all the way here. He was doing different kinds of transportation, as if there was some sort of betting involved. he's in It's a Mad world, and he's trying to get to Los Angeles by any means necessary. This was the Malcolm X of vacations, and I'm like, all right, man. So I wrote him and I go, hey, man, I'm crying. I think I even typed. Yeah, I did. Yeah. I typed Z's, and I may have typed a yawn again, just because it's like, don't bother me, is what it means.
I didn't.
And I said, yeah, exactly, because you take a hint. Good for you. One hint. I sent 8 hints in this text. He didn't take the other hints, because the other hints he took. I said to him, I go, hey, man, I'm crashing. So do me a favor. I said, I'm crashing. Hey, are you getting to Union Station and continuing on to the Valley? Because I know that there is a train that actually goes to North Hollywood, but I'm not sure. And then I put my phone down, and in my brain I go, wait a minute. And then I Googled it. And it turns out it goes to Burbank Airport. And then I sent another text and I go, also Burbank Airport. And then I put my phone on and I go, wait a minute. I Googled it again and it said Burbank Downtown. And I go, also Burbank Downtown. So just let me know which of those you're going to do and I'll like find you in the morning or whatever.
Union Station.
I did some things and I fell to sleep about an hour later. And then I woke up, my alarm went up at 8:45 and I picked up my phone and it just said, I'll be at Union because I don't care about you, your feelings, or your schedule. And I was like, oh, I was shocked. I couldn't believe it, quite frankly. But I was, but I have to admit, man, I was just like, oh. Because also, look, man, this is Los Angeles, California. This is the city, Los Angeles, California. I have a job. I carry a badge. You don't want to fucking go anywhere before 11 a.m. in a car. You just don't. And I got to go to downtown L.A., where Union Station is, and pick up my man. Now, if he's in the Valley, it's a much different thing. I can just zip in, zip out. Again, it's like going to Wisconsin, certainly. But now I got to get on multiple freeways.
If you had said Valley, I would have gotten off the train.
I wrote you. Are you going to the Valley?
You didn't clarify that at all.
Because one of us is slow on the uptake.
Yes. One of us is dumb.
Yes. One of us is quite dense. No, I literally said, because I mean, hey, I think by the fourth text I send you with an alternate destination, you should go, this guy's trying to tell me something. But you didn't. You're that's fine. You got a head full of syrup. You got a head full of syrup, and that's fine.
Syrup.
Yes, and you're used to doing all sorts of things your way. You got monks doing this back and forth. You're taking care of your business, and I understand it. But I'm telling you, if a guy sends you 5 different alternate places to go, I did. I said it goes. It goes from the Valley. It goes down. It goes to North Hollywood. It goes to Burbank Airport. It goes to Burbank downtown. So let me know. Because I'm not going to order you what to do. Because you know what? I'm not like you, where I call somebody up in the middle of it and I go, "Hey, I'm coming to L.A. Pick me up, man. It'll be awesome." And plus I was crashed at that point, so you knew then I was already up too late. So you knew to yourself, you should have been like, oh, you know what, man? Mike needs a goddamn break.
I'm crashing. We'll see you in the AM. Are you going to Union Station downtown, or are you taking a train from there to the Valley? I know there's a North Hollywood station.
Hint, hint, wink,
where you're
wink.
Going to be and the times and stuff.
Yes.
I'm headed to Union.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You skipped it. But, I mean, I think... You know what's funny, though? Everybody listening right now is like, man, Dad, what a fucking dolt. How did he not know to go to the Valley? It's plain as day in that text that I don't want to pick you up.
Said, get off at Valley. That was 2 stops earlier.
No, not the Valley. Not Valley.
They had a stop that was called the Valley.
No, it was called Valley, but not the Valley. You would have to continue to North Hollywood or Burbank or whatever the fuck, because you would have to do that in order to come down here, because, again, it's a different train. You have to get on the Metrolink. You can't take the Amtrak down here. You got to get on the Metrolink. Let's contrast this with me coming to your fucking house. And I'm like, hey, man, I got to go to the compound. You're like, great, there's a fucking train at the airport. I'm like, what? And you're like, yeah, man, don't worry, there's a moat and shit, but a boat will get you over, whatever the fuck.
Northern California makes sense.
And I'm like, what do you, all right, so I don't know what that means. Yeah, I'm busy. I'm very popular with the financial district. So you go ahead and hop on some bullshit train. And also, by the way, I'm not going to tell you which bullshit train. There's signs all over that godforsaken airport. So why don't you go ahead and hop in that, and when you come to my house, it'll be locked. Sit on the porch and wait for me. It's exactly what fucking happened. Huh? No, you left a key somewhere. I don't know what the fuck it was. But it doesn't matter. The point is, you weren't there. Right. The point is, you weren't there. I show up at your place. Oh, and also then this. I fucking go to pick him up today. And I'm like, hey, you in Union Station? He goes, yeah. And I go, well, I'm about a half mile from there. And he's like, okay, I'm on Vignes or something. And I'm like, what the fuck is Vignes? Like, there's Union Station. Why are you on another street? Where have you gone? What have you done? I
sent a link to where I was.
It's, yeah, on Vignes. And so then I pull into Union Station, and you're not in the front. And I'm like, all right, I don't know. I mean, because then he's like, I don't know, man. There's a lot of exits and entrances in this building. There's a lot of exits and entrances in a lot of fucking buildings. But you know what? When someone's picking you up, go to the front. Go to the front.
This is the front.
Hey, Mike, I'm going to be in L.A. at 9:30 at Union Station. Can you meet me on the helipad? No, I can't. Go to the front of the train station where people get picked up by human beings, you fuck. I'm going to be on Vignes. I'll be holding a pink carnation. Wink at me if you like me. Shut the fuck up. Stay at the station, man. If the train wanted to put you at Vignes, it would have driven to fucking Vignes. Train stopped at the station. That's where you get out and fucking wait. So I'm like, I'm pulling into Union Station, and he says Vignes, and I look around, and it's all fucking hobos and immigrants, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? Where is this guy? And I know he's like, well, I don't like hobos and immigrants. I don't want to hang around there. And I'm like, well, I don't give a fuck. This is where I am. And I even told him I have a gold Camry. He's like, oh, I'm glad you told me, man. I was going to get mixed up. So here, I'm going to climb out a trap door and try to find you. You fucking Waldo motherfucker. Wait in front of the goddamn Union Station. How fucking dare you? Already, I slept out of bed. I'm already fucking half asleep. It doesn't matter. And I fucking rolled down there looking for you. I'm on Vignes. Well, no, I'm at Union Station. That's because going back to the text, which you so adamantly just fucking basso profundo yelled at me right now. I'll be at Union. Terrific. I went to Union. I'm on Vignes. What the fuck are you doing sneaking around this town? Like you're swimming the Rio Grande trying to get a fucking green card. Settle in front of the goddamn Union Station, man.
Fair.
That's where people get picked up.
Fair.
I'm on Vignes. I think, you know what you should have just typed? Wee! I'm not home anymore. I can do what I want. Wee! Come and find me, please. Shut up. Get him out of his element, and he's just like, I don't care. Got short pants on and a fucking like a giant sucker. Propeller hat. Just fucking wait in front of the station. You're like a kid at Disneyland who runs off into the Hall of fucking Presidents like an idiot. Holy shit, have you seen my kid? I think he's by Nixon. Terrible. So then luckily, again, and also I'm driving. He's texting me while I'm driving. I don't know how unsafe this fuckhead is. He's on a train. Because you're not driving the train, you can text, glorious, I can use both thumbs.
I'm not driving the train.
Glorious, I can use both thumbs. So then you text me 800 messages when I'm driving, and I'm like, look, dude. All right, well, here's my location. Yeah, Union Station. No, sir. Vignes. So I pull in Union Station, and then I tap your fucking Vignes link, and I got to go around the building. I got to go to Cesar Chavez, go up the fucking whatever, Grand or whatever the fuck, take a right. And I'm like, I don't even know where I'm going now. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? But sure enough, I mean, it's like 3 rights. Right. I go up, and then there's literally cement and Jesuit. That's it. That's all I see. Uh-huh. I go pulling up, and it's like, oh my God, are you fucking joking me? He's just standing on the wee. Hi, Mike, waving floppy hand. God damn, what are you for? Get in the fucking car. I pull up and I'm nothing if not polite. So he pulls up, he opens the door, and he starts putting stuff in, and I go, hey, why are you back? Why are you here? Hey, Mike. Starts throwing shit in the, I go, dude, why are you, right, but why are you in the back? Where, this isn't even near the station. Oh, let's go. Climbs in, closes the door. Hey, man. Gives me an elbow nudge. Like that makes it all right. And he still never answered the question. I'm like, why did you wander off? Who wanders off?
It was straight out of the goddamn station. That was where they said to pick up.
It's Los Angeles. This is not your town. You don't make your own fucking rules, man.
Fair.
Find a sign.
That was the sign.
Oh, go to Vignes and annoy your friend. This way with an arrow.
I mean, they did say annoy your friend. I should have never.
God damn it. All right. So I get so instead of him just being out front and getting in the goddamn car like a normal human being, it's a fucking Easter egg hunt. And I got to find him in his fucking blue shirts and khakis out in the fucking back of nowhere, cement and Jesuit in the middle of nowhere. And then I picked him up, and also again, all right, so get this. When he told me he was coming, he's like, yeah, I'm staying downtown, like by the train station. And I'm like, all right, well, maybe we can, let's get some breakfast downtown, and then I'll take you to your hotel. And he's like, great. And he hops in the car, and he's like, oh, you know what? I had an idea. And I'm like, what? And he's like, well, what if I came to your house and I watched you record? And I'm like, well,
That's true.
All right. I go, but aren't you staying downtown? Yeah. And again, I don't understand this thing where, like, if you coordinated with me and you were just like, because then I find out he's got a hookup. So that makes complete sense. Because I admit, in my brain started racing where I'm just like, why don't you just call me and say, hey, man, I'm going to come and spend a couple days there, and I'll tell you a hotel by my house, and I can pick you up at Union, drop you at your hotel, and then it's like tonight when I have to drive you back to your place, it's 5 minutes. But now tonight, when we finish recording this show, I will tell you this: we're also
You're
going
to have a delicious dinner.
Well, certainly we're going to dinner, from what I've heard. There's a rumor about, there's a scuttlebutt, there's some whispers afoot that we are possibly going to enjoy a dinner. And I'm not sure if we are, and I don't want to commit myself to it just yet. I know there's a reservation that's been made. I can only hope that we're allowed into this fine establishment.
You're
I will not be. I will be outside. Literally, just make sure. Do me a favor. Just make sure you bring home the bone. That's all that matters. So then I got to drive there, and then I got to park in Hollywood, and then we're gonna, and also because then the plan was like I was gonna record this afternoon, and I was gonna do Twitch streaming, and then we were gonna go to dinner, and I said maybe we'll Uber. And he's like, well, I don't know. I got my suitcases and stuff. And then I was like, oh, fuck, that's right. I got to drive you home, man. And then I realized, oh, wait a minute. He's never been to L.A. Last time he was here, he was 9 years old. Fucking Marilyn Monroe was still alive. I mean, Jesus Christ. That's a long-ass trip. There wasn't even a beach here. We were landlocked. There wasn't an ocean. California was landlocked. New California had not yet fallen into the sea. So I said to myself, you know what? Maybe he's going to want to see all of the dirty, filthy people down on Hollywood Boulevard. And he's like, yes, I would love that. And I said, great. And we'll be able to see the Walk of Fame, like with all the nonsense and the handprints at Grauman's. And he's like, dude, I can't wait. And I said, yeah, and the Spider-Man with the badass. I mean, it'll be great. We'll go. And he's like, fucking, this is going to be cool as hell. And then we were sitting here and we talked. And he goes, you know what? I have a change of plans. I got to change plans. I got us a dinner reservation at 9:30 p.m. And I was like, oh, all right. Because what that means now is that we're not going to see all the hobos on Hollywood Boulevard. We're not going to see the Walk of Fame because it's dark. And I apparently just have to go along with it. I just have to go along with this plan. And even worse is like, again, now look, this is a phrase I haven't heard in at least 25 years. But I was talking about doing the show possibly, and I was sitting there, we were talking, and he leaped to his feet, and he clapped his hands, and he actually said, chop, chop. I haven't heard chop chop in, again, I don't know, 25 years. I'm not bringing luggage to your room. I'm not a rickshaw boy, despite my strong, firm thighs. I could pull the fuck out of a rickshaw, but I'm not officially a rickshaw boy. And I was like, chop chop, what the fuck is that? And he's like, get to work. Like, get the show, or else you don't get a fried shrimp or whatever the fuck tonight. And I'm like, God damn it. But at the same time, I needed to do a show. So please understand that this show has been under, it's not duress, certainly, but only with the promise of fried shrimp. This show has come to you only, you ever heard of the carrot and the stick? They hang a carrot they tie a stick to like a mule's face, and there's a carrot hanging off of it, and he runs around trying to chase it like an idiot. Imagine me right now. I literally have a halo with fishing line hanging off of it with fried shrimp dangling in front of my face. And I know you're thinking to yourself, Mike, how are you going to dunk that in the cocktail sauce if it's dangling on the fishing line? Oh, I can do it, motherfucker. I can do it. Goddamn, I love cocktail sauce. You don't love cocktail sauce?
I do.
Okay. Puck.
Mike.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Why are you prompting me with shit that you don't think I know how to do a goddamn show?
I think you're forgetting.
I'm not forgetting. Jesus Christ. I'm talking about fried shrimp. You think I was wrapping up? I wasn't wrapping up. I know what I'm doing.
I know.
I can't believe that just happened. He's literally looking at me. He's going, he's whispering a word that I had told him I was going to tell you guys about.
To hear that
You'll
story.
hear it.
All right.
Because believe me, it's appropriate. And it goes along with the story I just fucking mentioned about you and your bullshit texting. About when people suck me into their plans. That's what I'm saying. It's like, this is a very nice thing to see my friend and go to dinner and hang out for a day and a half, 2 days. I love it. I'm thrilled. But also, there's a wizened gnome inside of me who's just like, I fucking hate every second of this. Why the fuck wouldn't you call me? Why wouldn't you make sure I was free? Why wouldn't you check with me to see what I've got going on? I've got plenty of things going on. Why would you arrive thinking that you can just make me do my work by saying chop chop? What the fuck is your issue, man? But that's just the gnome inside of me, and I try not to listen to him. I've told you this before. This gnome he's kept me from concerts. He's made me not go to cool things. I don't know if it's a curse, or do you all do it? Does everyone do this? Where you get presented with a wonderful thing, and then in your mind you think of the bad part of it, and you try to peel the onion on why it's not good. But you know it's good. You know it's fun. I get to see my friend. We've laughed all day. We've had a great time. I've had to hear him call his wife beautiful 70,000 fucking times, for fuck's sake. I've had to see 10 different pictures of this woman. I was supposed to go to his wedding. I was supposed to go a couple of weeks ago, and I had to fucking hopscotch out just because honestly, the cash outlay was brutal, and especially knowing that I was going to have to find a map at the airport and find my way to his fucking house with a divining rod. I was searching for water and a backyard wedding with a fucking stick. But it turned out where I could not go. Now, I will say this. Was it expensive? It was. Could I have covered it? I have to be truthfully honest with you. Yes, I probably could have made it happen. Did the old gnome keep me from making it happen? He probably did. He made me look late at airfare. And by the time I looked at airfare, holy fuck-a-moly. It was crazy. And I didn't, and then getting a car, because look, and it's another thing too. Like when I text you of like, are you going to North Hollywood or Burbank or somewhere to the Valley? Or are you taking a train right to my house? What if it drove it into my pool? If I'm that guy, you know that the gnome is taking over. Yeah. So the same thing happened when you're like, you coming to my wedding? And I'm like, well, I don't know. How do I get home from the airport? Where do I stay? What do I do? Where's the car? And the gnome is typing. I am not typing at that point because I want to say, yeah, man, that'll be cool. I can't wait to eat some bullshit cake and say hi to your new wife. But also at the same time, or I can't wait to eat a new cake and say hi to your bullshit wife. I can't wait to do any of these things. But then the gnome jumps in and he's like, wow, where you got to get a car while you're there? And I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, and you'll have to stand up during the whole wedding and you're going to look gross. Oh, I guess I'm going to look gross standing up at the wedding. Thanks there, gnome. I don't know why he's in charge. He shouldn't be in charge. It wasn't a wedding. I should cut. It was a backyard. Yeah, I know it was a jaunt. Whatever the fuck. I know. Good for you. You had a backyard jaunt to explain that you'd been married to a lady. Hey, look, a lady likes me. And you invited a bunch of people to prove it.
I mean, that's eerily accurate.
Hey, guess what? A lady likes me, and she's very attractive, and now my house is the Brady Bunch fucking house, and I can't wait to tell you about it all day and never let you talk. Okay, cool.
Oh my God, you talk so much.
I'll sit on the chair and listen to you and your bullshit story.
Oh my God, you talk so much.
About you bonding with your new stepson and his smile as you touzle his hair. Whatever.
Bonding. That is terrible.
You and your family, that's fantastic. Oh, it's so great. He's like, you know what? I got all these new people under my roof and I soundproof the office. Did I tell you I soundproof the office? Hold on a second. I got a band and we play in the office. You know I play the music, all the music for the show? Yes, I do. You've told me that many times. Well, now we got all the equipment is out in the soundproof room and we fucking jam. And it's like, I go, wait a minute. So your new wife, who we love and is beautiful, kicked your band out of your own house? Well, it's technically our house now. Well, I understand it's your house and her house, but before it was her house, you used to play music in the house. Yeah, no, not so much anymore. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not even so bad when I sleep out there. Wait a minute, what, you sleep out there now? That doesn't make any sense. Well, you know, she likes the bed to herself. Oh my God, this doesn't seem like any sort of beautiful woman who likes you. I don't think she would behave like this. Well, I'll tell you what, she likes me. I had a party. If you would have come, it would have proved it. A lot of this isn't true. Some might be true. I don't know. See, this is the gnome. He's speculating on what exactly is going on in your house. He doesn't know. He hears about your beautiful, lovely relationship, and he realizes I am getting every second I'm closer to death, being alone. And the gnome is just like, oh no. Do you realize that your friend has found someone to love him and you have not? Are you aware of that? And I'm like, yes, every waking moment. I am aware of it. All of my friends are like, hey, it's our 30th anniversary. I'm like, fantastic. I wonder if I could cut my wrist 30 times with a razor blade before I bled out. That'll be fun. Who's going to hug me when I have cancer? Nobody at the present moment. No one at all. I don't even give a shit about going on good trips and seeing people and enjoying wine. I just want to make sure somebody's there to wipe my mouth when I spit up my chemo pudding. Jesus fuck. I am going to die alone. Not even with an A, with a U fucking H. I am going to be so alone. Just dead man dying. Not even walking, because I can't even muster the strength to climb out of my cot. Just fucking expiring by myself, reaching out for a hand that will never be there. Longing for the touch that will never arrive. Just literally seeing the ghosts of my past and the people that have come through and left me and gone. And holy Jesus, it's just me and the gnome. I can't have that happen, right? I got to go on Bumble. That's what I need to do. Maybe I give him that speech. Just play that. I'll just put that chunk as my bio on Bumble. Oh, who wants to wipe chemo pudding off my prominent chin? You just spit on me, man.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Who among you? Who among you will wipe chemo pudding off my prominent chin? Mind the throat scars. I've had my vocal cord severed for a bet. Dude. Who among you will dab the chemo pudding from the corners of my dry mouth? Mind the throat scars. I've had my vocal cord severed for a wager. Winston, you gleeked on me now. Man, what is going on?
Very funny.
Gallagher usually gets the people wet, not the other way around. Jesus.
Have a tarp.
Oh, my Christ. Yeah, well, I'm usually alone. I think you got spit on the mic.
Nice.
We got blood on the tracks. We got spit on the microphone. All right. Hi, everybody. How you doing? Ah, Christ. I'm going to die. All right. So I mentioned this is the death year on the last show. Not that I'm preoccupied with it or anything. But there's ways you can kind of thwart death. At least I've heard rumor. You want to be healthy, certainly. You want to eat right. Exercise, right? All of these things are supposed to work. And as you know, in July, I was like, all right, let's get serious. And then in August, I said, let's stop being serious. Let's do what we can to find as much terrible stuff as we can to put it inside of our faces. And we are still holding steady at 20 pounds lost, which I know means I've gained 2. Yes, I understand this. But it's, I have plans. I'm still lifting, go to work out. But I got to do cardio. That's the main thing. I have to get on the treadmill and run and do all those things. And I've been trying to find different ways to do that. I don't mind the treadmill. I like it. Just throw on some fucking earbuds and go to work. Run 3 miles a day on the treadmill. It's fucking cool. And it really helped me lose weight. All the times I've lost a lot of weight, a heavy walking and cardio was involved. So I like doing it. I do. But I also have to be honest. Like I want to, part of me is like, you should just walk outside because outside is cool. I like outside, it's nice and weather. And I also like hot. I mean, I've told you, I walked in Vegas once when it was 105 degrees. I walked fucking 3 miles. It was awesome. It's just pouring sweat. Loved it. But I'm older now. This is 10 years ago or whatever the fuck, 16 years ago, right? 2005, 15. Yeah. 16 years ago. Jesus. So, I just don't want to drop fucking dead yet. I mean, I know I will, but again, this is the death year and who knows? It's all a fucking coin flip. Cause I'll be honest, when I'm on the treadmill, and I've talked about this with driving a car, sometimes you'll become acutely aware of what you're doing. And you realize that if you ever just stop, you're fucking ruined. Cause 1 second you're doing cardio to try to lose weight. And then the next you're on America's Funniest Home Videos. It's just, you have no choice because you've stopped, you talked, and I've had it happen. I'll be walking on the treadmill and I'm not really busting out a run. I mean, we got guys who sprint in my gym on the goddamn treadmill, but I'll be walking at a quick clip and then a jog. And then my foot will catch half the belt and half the stanchion. And it'll be like that, like that weird fucking thing. And you got to all of a sudden grab yourself and go, I meant to do that. Of course I meant to do that. But meanwhile, you have no time to exhale because you're still going. The belt's still going. You got to keep fucking running no matter what. You almost died. You almost died. You almost fell and broke your neck or at least got face burn, which nobody fucking wants. That'd be terrible because you're going to go down. If I fall on the treadmill, I'm going down face first and then it's going to roll me off. And then the belt will be like, and just grinding my face. It's like sanding a jewel. I mean, I'm like, I don't need any fucking rough edges on my goddamn face. If I do, it's from losing the goddamn face fat and exposing my cheekbones to everybody again. So I worry sometimes on the treadmill. And I've been looking for ways to be interested in cardio, like different things and different approaches. And I have a buddy, my buddy Dennis, Evil Dennis from the UN of Evil. And I was in Denver in April. And I told him, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get back into the gym and start working out. Cause I told you, I discovered it there as I was trying to walk up the stairs in his mansion. By the time I got to stair 11, I literally had to stop and be like, cause it's Denver, it's altitude. And then it's this, I'm going to save Rapunzel. I mean, what the fuck? How big is this goddamn staircase? So I get to the middle of the stairs. I'm like, that kind of that intense, sharp feel. And I'm like, man, this is not good. So here and I were talking and I'm like, yeah, I got to get back in the gym, but with the pandemic, you can't. I got the shots. So I'm excited to go. And I said, I was looking at all sorts of different things to do. And I thought about a Peloton, but that just was so expensive. I thought about getting a bike and he does a double take. He's like, what? I said, what? I said I was going to get a Peloton. He's like, no, fuck a Peloton. What? I said, I was going to get a bike. I was looking at them anyway. Because I don't know what to do. And he goes, are you serious about getting a bike? And I'm like, Jesus Christ. I didn't know it was that big a deal. But I forgot who I was talking to. My buddy Dennis, he's got to have 5 bikes hanging in his garage. And I mean, he's got a mountain bike. He's got what just looks like a bike to me. He's got some bike with like 1 million gears all over it. He's got that bike that just looks like a razor blade that might weigh a pound. It's completely thin. So, I don't know, you could drive it under doors. I mean, I have no fucking idea why you would have it, but he's been his whole life. You know, he ran track in school, but he got into cycling later. I mean, he cycled in Europe, and he's the kind of dude, and look, he's the kind of dude who will like wake up in the morning and maybe have a juice and then ride his bike 35 miles to the top of a mountain to watch the sunrise. What the fuck? Who lives like that? He's a human coffee commercial. You know what I mean? Like one of those guys. And I'm like, oh, son of a bitch. How can you? I don't even know. Like, whatever. He drives up Lookout Mountain in Denver. Now, he and I went up that in a car, and I was winded. This guy rides his bike up it like multiple times a week. And he always has these stories where he's like, yeah, it's great. You know, you'll be driving on there and you'll pass these people who obviously they didn't realize what they were getting into. And, you know, they're dead. You know what I mean? Just the skulls of my enemies are piled up in the sand and I just keep going. Get to the top. I have some Nescafe and some Folgers because I like 2 coffees at the summit. And then I head back down. And that's the worst. Dude, the down part is even crazier. Like I have my buddy Justin in Phoenix. His wife Mary does triathlons. So she also lives in Phoenix. She'll go up into these fucking foothills and she'll ride her bike. She caught a bird in the face one day or something like that. Like she's just in the fucking, she's riding in the desert and it's like, da-da-da. And then a sparrow's like, fuck you, bam. And it's like, oh no. And she's got a helmet on, but you know, nobody covers their face. So she got fucking Fabio'd by a fowl. It was fucking depressing. But it doesn't matter. She's like, I love it. I love nature. I'm like, really? Do you love nature when a beaver bites your fucking thigh? I mean, like nobody likes that. When a fucking bird thinks your face is a garage. But she loves it. She's on board. So, and Dennis is the same way, man. Dennis loves bikes. So he got all somber and serious. He's like, are you really considering getting a bicycle? I'm like, yeah. He goes, I'm glad you brought it up. He goes, because I'm like, well, that was the thing is I wanted to pick your brain because I know you're the bike guy. And he's like, oh my God. All right. Yes, we got to do this. So we went out to Arvada, whatever the fuck the town is, and we went to a couple of bike shops. Or no, we went out of town. I forget where we went. Some other close town, Boulder maybe? I don't know. But we had to go, maybe Denver? I don't know. Lawrence? We did. We drove to Kansas. What if I just named Colorado and Kansas towns the rest of the goddamn time? Shawnee? I think we went to Shawnee. So we go to this bike store. He took me to a couple bike stores, and we go in, and you know those fucking places. It's the guy's not even a human. It looks like a hat hatched a guy. You know what I mean? Like that was just which came first, hipster or the hat? You know, I don't know, but he's got that fucking beanie, whatever the fuck, and you know the chin strap hair and whatever and then again pleasant enough. But they see me walk in, and you know, again, because Dennis is all like, we got to get you a bike. It's going to be awesome. But the bike dudes just see me, and they go, oh, Fatty wants to kill himself. No, I don't. I truly don't. I'm trying to actually get back into shape. But I told Dennis, I go, look, here's the thing, man. I'm scared to death of getting a bike, and I destroy it because I'm huge. I'm just a big dude. And I've done it at restaurants. I sit on, you know, one of the reasons my thighs are so strong is because I hover like a chick in a ladies' room at a restaurant because I don't want to bust their chair into fucking kindling so everybody can point and go, I don't need to be, believe me, I've spent most of my life being the fucking, eliciting, I don't need to do it anymore as long as I fucking live. So I'm like, all right, well, what do I do here? I don't get a bike that's small. And again, that's why I'm asking him, what do we do? And I said, I don't want a fucking bike that I hop on and I drive and like, yay. And then it falls apart like the Blues Brothers car at the fucking end of it. Fuck that. And he's like, no problem. Well, go ahead. We'll take a look. There's sturdy frames and big tires and whatever. So I talked to the dude and he goes online. He starts Googling shit. And get this. He's like, This is not a joke. He goes, all right, I found some bikes that might be good for a bigger guy. And I gotta remember the name. Like literally one of them is called a Fat Blaster. Like it's that kind of name. I'm not joking. Like Thick Haunches or something. It's just this stupid fucking. And I thought, and then it's honestly, I thought he was making fun of me. Like I wanted to get mad at him. You know what I mean? Like he was, but then part of me thought, I'm sure there's some dumb fucking bike company called Hey Fatty Wants a Ride. You know what I mean? It's out there. And because again, like with Casper Mattress and all these dumb fucks or whatever, I'm like, there's got to be some stupid idiot. But he's like, no, take a look. And it's the brand of bike. And what it is, it's got baskets on it. So I'm like, I'm not stealing Dorothy's dog. I just want to get in shape, man. But it's got like baskets on the side, this one particular thing. And Dennis is like, nah, man, you don't want that. And I will say this, we're walking around the shop. There's some cool looking fucking bikes. I mean, there's some stuff that just looks evil. We're like the kind of bike that like, even if a dork rode up on it, you'd be like, cool bike. You know what I mean? You wouldn't be like, what are you doing, idiot? And normally if anybody rides up on me on a bike and just like, hey, what's going on? I'd be like, well, I don't know. What's up with you? Fucking weird bike messenger. What are you, Quicksilver? Get the fuck out of my face. But these other bikes look fucking amazing. So, but the guy was like, he found a bunch of stuff online and he told Dennis, he's like, he gives me his card. We go to a couple shops. We look at different things. And then finally, we get home and Dennis is like, well, you keep looking and I'll look too. And I said, all right, great. He goes, but I want to buy this bike for you as like a birthday gift. I go, dude, I didn't loop you into this so you would buy me a bike. I promise. I just want your expertise because you're the guy I know who knows everything about bikes. And he's like, no, it's fine. I want to take care of it. Come on, let me do it. And I said, whatever. We'll see. Let's look around and try to find stuff. So time passes. I don't really think about it. And then in July, I start getting emails from a company called Zeiss. And Zeiss is a bicycle company specifically tailored for giants. And hey, that's me. So I'm like, I start looking at their website. I start looking at their inventory. And even more importantly, they gave me a 10% off like coupon thing. So I go to the website and they've got bikes for $7,000. They've got bikes, but the bikes that still looked kind of cool that I liked were like $1,500, and I'm like, oh, a 10% off, that's, $150. We're looking at $1,350, then tax, it's back up to $15 probably. And I'm like, well, if I could get that, I could actually kind of swing that maybe. But it's one of those purchases where you're like, you know what, if I'm going to do this, I abso-fucking-lutely need to do it, and I got to ride this thing. This thing can't become a coat rack, especially at this price point. I can't possibly do that to myself or even like Dennis was counting on me to fucking get a good one. So I send him, the next day I get another Zeiss email. So I text him and I go, hey, did you put me on a mailing list for fat guy bikes? And he's like, no, what are you talking about? He goes, I don't even have your email address. And I go, all right. There's some company called Zeiss Bikes and they keep sending me stuff. And I said, I'll forward it to you. I go, but actually, I don't know if you've looked, but this looks like a really good deal. Like there's 10% off. And he's like, no, I'm looking around at some stuff. We'll look, but don't pull the trigger yet. Let me go ahead and take a look at some things. I said, great. So the next day I get an email from Zeiss and it's 20% off. So now you take $300 out of there. Now we're looking at 12. Now I'm like, all right, this is getting a lot more doable. But I'm also surprised that I got a 20% coupon. I'm like, why? So I text Dennis. I go, this makes no sense. And then I got another bike company sent me an email. I go, how did this happen? And he's like, well, maybe you at the bike shop. Did you give them your email address? I said, dude, that's in April. I don't have any fucking clue. You think the hat ordered me put me on mailing lists? He's like, I don't know. But don't pull the trigger on it. So 2 days later, I get an email from Zeiss. Now it's 24% off a bike. And so now I'm crunching the numbers and I'm like, all right, this is going to actually work. So I forward it to Dennis and I go, here's this coupon. You tell me what you think. They custom make bikes for guys up to fucking 600 pounds. Now, look, do I want to look like the twins in the Guinness Book of World Records? I do not. So I won't go riding with another fat guy. It'll just be me, solo. And Dennis is like, well, you know what? Fuck them. He goes, if they're going to offer you a deal every day, let's wait till it gets up to be 80% off and then we'll buy a fucking bike. I said, great, I'll hold off. So I wait another week or so. And my birthday comes and goes. And then I get a text from Dennis. He's like, hey, you around? Give me a call, pal. So I call him up. I go, what's up? He goes, all right. What's up, dog? I said, nothing, man. Just okay, happy birthday. I'm sorry I missed it. I go, that's fine. I got you a bike. What? I got you a bike. Dude, that's... Why? You didn't... I mean, and again, I find myself doing that a lot. People are incredibly generous and nice to me. And I can't figure out fucking why. Like, I don't know why. I speak to you. This is being recorded on a laptop that was gifted me from Michael Waldbillig in the shadow of a computer that was gifted to me by Jeremy Herbal. People are lovely and kind. And I want to know what your angle is. So I said to Dennis, I'm like, dude, because then I feel like he felt like me talking about a bike was to get him. That wasn't the case. I wasn't trying to tap his wallet. And I know he had said it was going to be a birthday gift, but I didn't even think about it. So I said, dude, I didn't loop you in to do this. I promise. He was like, no, that's fine. He goes, I looked around. I got you this bike. It's going to be, what are you doing on August 17th or whatever? It's going to be delivered next week. And I'm like, all right, fine. Let me know. He goes, okay, cool. Also, it's an e-bike. I go, what is an e-bike? He goes, an e-bike, it's like electric. It goes like 20, 25 miles an hour. I'm like, all right. I go, does it have pedals? I go, because otherwise that seems like it's going to be real hard to lose a ton of weight if I'm cruising around at 25 miles an hour. He goes, no, it's got pedals. He goes, you only use the E part when you need to use it, when you need to use it, but I'm assuming you won't be using it because you'll be using the pedals. I go, yes, that's the whole point of getting a bike. But I didn't need an e-bike. Jesus Christ, how much was this thing? Oh, don't worry about it. It's going to be there. So go ahead and get it. And you got to go to a bike shop. You got to get him to build it. You got to get him to take care of it. You got to do this. And I said, okay, so it's coming to my house? He goes, yeah. And he goes, here's the bike shop. And he texts me an address and a phone number for a bike shop. He goes, go ahead and bring it in there and they'll build it for you. I said, have you talked to these guys? He's like, no. I found them online. I go, all right, hold on a second. So you're sending me a bike that I didn't get to choose. And you're sending me to a shop that you've never been to and neither have I. And you're telling me they're going to build the bike. Now, look, did I say this out loud? I didn't, because I don't want to look this gift transportation horse in the fucking mouth. It's kind and nice, but also I'm terrified I'm going to break a bike. And Zeiss bikes are personally made, because I asked him, is it a Zeiss bike? He goes, it's not. And they're purposely made for me, for a dude like me. Because then he goes, well, how much do you weigh these days? And I'm like, I'm right around 370 right now. This is 2 weeks ago. And he goes, oh, well, that should be fine. Because, yeah, because usually, they give you a warning. But, the best part is when you're on the bike, you're going to be losing more weight, so we don't need to worry about it. And then I'm like, wait, what did you get? What? And so I said, do me a favor, send me the link to this bike that you bought. And also, I'll check with the bike shop. And he sent me the link. And again, this bike looks fucking badass. It does. It looks amazing. But it also weighs like 80 pounds, which is fine, but it's in a gigantic box. He's like, yeah, you'll have to get the box. You have to take it into the bike shop. And I'm like, all right. In addition to the weight limit with the bike that you could have discussed with me before you purchased me a bike, and in addition to the e-bike thing, when I didn't really need an e-bike thing, if you had contacted me beforehand and said, hey, I'm thinking of getting you a bike, but you'll have to have it built, we could have found a bike shop together that you could have shipped the bike to, and then I wouldn't have to carry this 80-pound fucking monstrosity on my back to the goddamn bike shop. Not that I care. Not that I mind. I'm thrilled to get a bike. It's the gnome who's the issue right now, because he's like, oh my God, you got a bike that's not a Zeiss bike. You're going to fucking crush it into fucking kindling. And then you got to carry this fucking thing. And then you got to fit it in your car. And you got to bring it to the bike shop with a bunch of guys you've never met before. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. I mean, this is awesome. But also, I'm like, well, I got to get a helmet, right? He goes, oh, yeah, definitely get a helmet. And what you do, here's what you got to do. You got to fill your tires to like 32 PSI. And you got to go to the guys when they build it. And you got to establish a relationship at the bike shop. Because then you got to buy all your stuff from them. Because then they'll take care of you when you need your bike taken care of. And you're always going to need something wrong with your bike. The brakes or the tires. And I'm just like, holy fuck. Am I getting a bike or am I getting a Tamagotchi? What the fuck is this, man? Something I'm going to have to take care of? That makes no sense. But it does. I know it makes sense. It's what real people do in the real fucking world. I'm the only one who worries about the consequences. I'm the one who literally is getting a free, amazing bicycle and goes, what's the problem with this fucking thing? What's going to be the issue here? And he's like, calm down. Everything's going to be fine. And I'm like, I'm calm. I don't say these things to him, but I say them to you because I constantly will find something wrong even with what's right. So the bike arrives It's giant. It's crazy. It's like 4 by 8 feet, the box. So I go, or no, 4 by 7 probably. And I go to lift it, and they've taped down the plastic straps, and I can't lift it that way. So I go to put it on my back, and it's just so awkward. And finally I go, fuck this. I drag it from my apartment to my car. And then I'm trying to get it into my car. I'm trying to bounce it through the back door and stuff. And then I'm about to slide it in, and I'm pushing, and it's moving, and it's going the wrong way. And then I get into the car. It won't clear by like a foot. I can't close the door. So I can't get it to the bike shop to get it built. And now I got it outside, and a neighbor whom I have made fun of on this show, I'm not going to get into it, but a neighbor who's walked past, and I've been very unkind in the things that I've said, stops, and he goes, "Hey, what's that?" I go, "It's a bike." He goes, "Oh, that's great. You need help?" I said, "Well, it's not going to fit in the car." He goes, "Well, what if we put the seats down and put it in through the trunk?" And I'm like, "No, I got a woofer back there. I can't do it." And he goes, "Well, all right. Well, you want me to just carry it back to your house with you?" And I'm like, "Oh my God. Yeah, you would do that?" He goes, "Yeah." And I introduce myself to him. I get his name. And he tells me that he lost like 130 pounds during the pandemic. I'm like, "Great. I put on 93. So you, the guy I made fun of walking by my house all the time, you're better than me now. You are absolutely better than me. Would you know what? I could, would you like to gain some of that 130 back? I have a gnome. Can I interest you in a gnome?" But now I feel like fucking hell because this guy helps me carry the bike back, and I've made fun of him before, and I'm like, "Oh, Jesus." So we put the bike in front of my house. And then I'm going to have to, my buddy Dennis is like, "Well, you know what, just grab an Uber Black. Like, get an Uber Black, and they can load the bike up." And I'm like, "Dude, that's going to be $1,000, man." And I said, "I have a friend who's got a fucking truck." And John has a big car, like a big Toyota. And so we put it in the back, and I went to 3 different bike shops. One was run by a nice family, but they didn't inspire a lot of confidence because it was literally like, I just have, they seemed poor. Does that sound bad? I'm sure it does, but I didn't know if their poor would affect my bicycle in any way. And also, was there a chance that possibly they assembled it and thought it was nice and sold it? I just didn't feel comfortable having my bikes built by the cast of Grapes of Wrath. But they were nice to visit, and they were lovely. I mean, look, when your 13-year-old girl is working the counter, things aren't good with your family. Clearly, things have gone awry. The whole family's on duty. One kid's like scrubbing old inner tubes. The mom is just sitting there with a chihuahua on her chest. The 13-year-old talks to me. The dad's building bikes. It just looked like a fucking nightmare. So I'm like, all right. It was nice to meet all of you, and I left. Then I went to another bike shop, and this bike shop didn't even have anything to sell. Like, no, they were just it was like a doorway with like, it said bikes. And I pulled up. This is the one that Dennis had recommended. And when I got there was a hobo getting his bike fixed. First I went there once. They closed at 6. They were closed at 10 after 5. Like, it was one of those joints. Like, we went home. So then I went back, and there was a hobo getting his bike fixed. And I mean a legit hobo. Like, you know, holes in socks, bindle on a stick, the whole fucking thing. Like, literally about to take... He's the guy on the Monopoly card. That kind of hobo. And sure enough, he's getting his bike fixed, and then a guy walks out, the guy who runs the shop, because the dude doing the bike fixing... Totally, this is completely true. He looked like the guy in Texas Chainsaw Massacre that they pick up in the van and cuts open his palm and takes Polaroids of everybody. That was the guy, because I think he had 3 fingers. Like, it was creepy. He was something out of V, and he's fixing the hobo's bike. And then this dude who looks alarmingly like Mark Maron comes out. And first he asked me who my guys are, and I said, "That's strange." And then he sells me some coffee, which I did not anticipate purchasing at all. And I said, "Well, look, I just need a bike built, and I want to buy helmets." He goes, "Well, we don't sell anything, just the coffee, which you've purchased." And I said, "Great. But what do I do? You build bikes?" He goes, "Yeah, you just drop it off here. It's like $60. We'll build it, and you just pick it up." I said, "Okay, well, I appreciate that." He goes, "We're good?" I said, "Yeah, we're good." And I got in my car, and I split. And there was one more bike place to visit, and I went into this place, and you know what it was? It was a store that actually sold bikes and equipment and helmets, and it was run by a father and son who seemed very nice. And so I checked with them to see what the price was and what I would need to do, and they were very kind. And so I said, okay, and I wound up dropping the bike off there a few days ago, and they called me today to tell me it's done, but I don't have a vehicle to go pick it up. But it's on the agenda, and I'm going to get it. And I Googled good helmets, and I said to Dennis, I go, hey man, do I need any pads? And he just started laughing. He goes, what do you mean pads? I go, like knee pads or elbow pads? I see guys on bikes wearing those all the time. He goes, what? BMX guys? And I go, yeah, whatever the fuck. I go, look, if you got a fat guy on two wheels, I need protection, man. If I could buy bubble wrap, I would. And he's like, well, no, you don't need pads. He goes, look, you do whatever makes you comfortable, but I'm telling you, you don't need pads. So I bought pads. I bought some elbow pads. I bought a knee sleeve with padding in it. I bought a helmet that is fucking awesome. Because you know what? I didn't want the giant wiffle ball head. Like, I know that sounds stupid. And look, I'm not going to be that guy who's like, oh boy, I hope I look great on a bike. Because I'm going to look fucking stupid for months. There's no doubt about it. I just got to make sure I buy a helmet that doesn't scramble my fucking brains, right? So I didn't want the wiffle ball because it's all, because that, to me, you know what? If you buy the wiffle ball helmet, now you're trying. Now you're trying to look like a Lamond. Yeah, I'm not a fucking Lamond. I'm not a goddamn Armstrong. I'm a fat idiot on a bike. So I found this. I Googled, and there was a fucking thing that said the best bike helmet you can buy. There's a company called 1000. And they're like throwback vintage looking motorcycle helmets, but they're for bikes. And then they got the MIPS system in there, which protects your brain even extra. And I'm like, oh, I got to get me some MIPS. So I ordered a 1000 helmet. I ordered these pads. And then, look, man, I know you're thinking to yourself, well, Mike, if you've got pads and you've got a helmet, clearly you need some cool-ass racing gloves. Oh, I purchased racing gloves, friends. I purchased red and black and white racing gloves to go with my black and red bicycle and my black helmet, which I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to try to find anybody who does custom painting to paint my helmet like the goddamn Frankensteiner of Eddie Van Halen. I want it to be black and white and fucking striped, and I want it to look fucking ridiculous. Because you know what? If I'm going to be fat guy on bike and people are going to look anyway, well, I'm going to give them a goddamn reason to stare, baby. I'm like the snail who bought the car and had the S pointed on the fucking hood. Because he wants to make sure everybody, when he drove by, said, look at that S car go. Ha ha, yeah. I am going to be dead soon, folks. Again, I know you're thinking to yourself, Mike, I didn't write that. That's it's not an original, by the way. That snail thing's not mine. That's one of my favorite old jokes. It's my second favorite snail joke. Would you like to hear my first favorite snail joke? Guy's in his house, his doorbell rings. He opens up the door, he looks around, he doesn't see anybody. He looks down, there's a snail on the welcome mat. He's like, ugh. Picks up the snail and he fucking chucks it. Just throws it off the fucking porch. Goes back in his house. 2 months later, his doorbell rings. He opens the door. He looks down. There's a snail. Snail goes, what the fuck was that all about? You guys can get me at Mike at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can be my friends at Facebook.com/the40yearoldboy. You can follow me at Twitter.com/the40yearoldboy. You can get me at Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok. I'm Mike40YOB. Follow me at all of those places. That'd be great. So I have this helmet, and I'm excited to get out on the road. I've got pads. I've got racing gloves. And like I said, if people are going to point, I'm going to give them a reason to fucking point. But I'm excited. The only thing I'm worried about is, like, I've got to go try the bike out. I've got to get a better seat, I think, because I don't know what seat came with this bike. That's the thing that's bothering me. Like I said, crushing the bike and also getting a seat that is going to be comfortable for a giant. I don't know. What the fuck do I know? Why am I riding a bike? Again, I am hastening the year of death. I don't mean to. I know it's the death year. I know I'm it's like when they move the doomsday clock up like a minute. Getting a bike. Right now there are scientists all over the earth going, oh man, that Schmitty doomsday clock is going up about 5 minutes. I'm going to wind up face first on some fucking asphalt. All right. Follow me at Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. Find me at SnickChat too. Why not? I'm there, Mike40YOB. Find me in all of these places. I'd appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who's helped me out ever. Our great friend Casey, who helps with the YouTube stuff, and our good friend Ryan, who's helped with the web stuff, and our friend Mex. You know, David. Go to Facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez and be his friend. He's got tons of artwork. He's got a podcast. He's got all that cool stuff. He's got a group. If you're a friend on Facebook with him, you can go ahead and find the group that he has. This is dumb. That's dumb. You're dumb. I'm dumb. It's the group where Mex tries to control the internet. It's fun. Because God knows you can always put toothpaste back in a tube, and you can put stupid back in the internet, and Mex is there to make sure he can handle it. I don't know, he spins himself up like a top, but he gets it done, and people seem to love it. I don't know why he would do it. He's smarter and better than that, but he wants to mock, and I don't blame him. So go to Facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez and become his friend there. And then you'll be able to go to his artwork there and go ahead and page through and look at all the cool stuff he does. Because, you know, the guy does artwork. He'll do your Facebook caricature. He'll paint your dog. He's happy to do all those things. He's a painter. He's a mocker of all things religious. And also, the man has a podcast. Did you know this? What? Yes, he does. This man has a podcast. It's called The Phlegm Cat Podcast. Now, that's 4 words. The Phlegm Cat Podcast. Please don't get it twisted. And that's PHLEGM. That's how you spell phlegm. The Phlegm Cat Podcast is available where your finer podcasts are sold. This week, I haven't been able to hear the show yet, but the promo had a balloon knot in it, and I am terrified at what that could possibly mean. But go ahead and listen for yourself. It's going to be amazing. He does crazy songs. He's got slumpus. He's got a refrigerator that's fucking ginger. He's got all sorts of cool ass stuff. A lot of hot chicks. It's fun. It's fantastic. He does amazing artwork. Great podcasts. The Phlegm Cat Podcast, available wherever podcasts can be sold. The iTunes podcast space, wherever you want to look. He might be on Spotify. Perhaps he's on Audible. If you open up your window, he'll promise to shout it out the window. He's happy to do it for you. Go ahead and find him at facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez. Find the Phlegm Cat Podcast wherever your finer podcasts are. And also, if you want him to do your artwork for you, he will do it. He's that kind of gentleman. He will step up and paint whatever you need him to do. If you want to get an example of his artwork, like I said, when you join him at facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez, go to his photos, look at all the amazing watercolors and oil paintings he's done. It's just incredible. He put up some stuff this week. He was revisiting his water paint and his gouache painting. I don't know what it's called. Gouache, some kind of fucking paint. God damn, this guy's just done amazing work. And it's all available for purchase. And also, you can go to his website if you want to think to yourself, well, what other painting does he do? He's got a website. Go check it out. And before I say that, let me thank my good friend Fearful Jesuit for being here, because I don't think you'll be here for the plugs, will you?
I mean, I assume not. I don't know.
I don't know how you live your life.
We're going to dinner.
We're going to dinner.
Going back to the hotel.
Yeah, you probably don't want to come back here for do the plugs and then go down to the hotel.
Weird, yeah.
It does. All right. Well, I'm leaving it up to you.
Fair.
If you decide for yourself that you want to be back for the plugs, I'm happy to have you do it.
I mean, I don't assume.
Of course not, because then you make an ass out of you and me. Of course, David, go to his website and check out all the cool ass artwork that the man has done. His website is artbydmh.com. That is artbydmh.com.
With so many meal kit services out there, it's hard to find the right one for you. Here's what I think sets Home Chef apart. Home Chef offers delicious, exciting meals anyone can cook. Rotating recipe options each week means there's always something new. Once you create your Home Chef account and set your meal preferences, it's as simple as choosing your menus for the future weeks and adjusting your delivery dates. They'll recommend meals based on dietary needs and cook time, such as quick meals, carb-conscious, vegetarian, and even easy cleanup. Your box arrives at your doorstep each week with recipe cards and perfectly portioned ingredients. You get exactly what you need. And if you don't think you have time to cook, they offer quick solutions of 15-minute recipes, microwave meals, and oven-ready options that save you time and effort in the kitchen. For a limited time only, go to homechef.com/art19 for $90 off your first month. That's a value of 10 free meals. Again, go to homechef.com/art19 for $90 off.
Explain this to me again.
I wanted to do like this old school like R&B song, and I'll do all the music and the vocals and everything, but the middle part I was thinking, what's it called when they talk during the middle?
Like a breakdown?
Yeah, like that. You could do that, but I think you should play it straight. I think it should be like real like quiet and just kind of like, seductive, like you're trying to seduce a woman or something. Like, play it straight. Don't worry about like making a joke or making it funny or anything, and just be cool. Because I mean, we can maybe treat this as like a legitimate song if we do it right. You know what I mean? So don't like kind of wander off the thing. So just kind of just talk. You're good at talking. Just talk this thing out, and we'll see how it comes out. All right. So just play it straight though, okay?
Yeah.
You want to give it a shot?
I guess so. You ready?
Yeah. Here.
Girl, my name is Michael, and I want a woman with a big heart, a strong woman. I want to see a woman give birth. It doesn't have to be my baby. I just want to see her naked. I want a woman who likes travel. Someone who's as comfortable watching a sunset in Hawaii as she is watching me jerk off in a bathtub. What?
I thought we were gonna play it straight.
That's good. I'm serious about that.
All right, let's try it again. Ready? Let's try to do it.
Ladies, my name is Michael, and I'm looking for a sophisticated woman, confident and well-read. A woman who's read the Bible, except all of that shit about Leviticus. I'm looking for a girl with auburn hair, hazel eyes, and a long tongue. I mean like a 6-inch tongue. Which seems weird because there wouldn't be anywhere she could put it on me, but until you've choked on a tongue, you have not lived. Ladies, I'm a biter, and I like to be bitten. Seriously, hands, neck, lips, I don't care. Bite me anywhere and I'm on board. Anywhere. Girl? What? No?
No.
Cancer isn't free, and the challenges don't end when treatment is finished. For cancer survivors in their 20s and 30s, the stacks of medical bills, empty savings accounts, and time away from work can be catastrophic. No one should have to choose between seeing their doctor or keeping the lights on, or make the decision to skip their medication because they need to feed their families. Yet these are the choices that too many young adult cancer survivors make every day, and COVID-19 has added an extra layer of financial stress and uncertainty. The SAM Fund and Expect Miracles Foundation have provided over $2.5 million in grants to young adults across the country, but the need is greater than ever due to the pandemic. Please join us in supporting their efforts by making a donation to Expect Miracles Foundation's SAM Fund program today. To learn more or make a donation, visit thesamfund.org. That's thesamfund.org.
All right, let's give it another shot here. Ready?
Yeah. Girl, my name is Michael, and I like a girl who wants to lay down in front of a fire on a bearskin rug. I like a girl who likes long walks on the beach. Do you like movies? I like movies. I like love stories, like Ass Blasters 2. But sometimes I like action movies, like Ass Blasters 3. You stop. Am I from the top?
Yes, please. Okay, here we go.
Ladies, my name is Michael, and I like a girl who will lay outside with me and read me poetry aloud while I strum my lute. I want a woman who can clean out the attic and help me finish the basement, and I mean those literally. I want a woman who can cook anything from A to Z, from apricots to zebras. I want a girl who's into role playing. You can be a big city reporter, and I'll be the fat guy who fucks you in a parking lot. I want a girl who likes dirty talk. Maybe he doesn't have to do dirty talk, but if she's willing to listen to me say that I want to do a face blast into her baby house, then I'm on board.
Not happening.
Listen, man, I don't know what they were selling you, but buy it. Anything that the co-op says you should buy, you should buy. I fucking whale skin slippers or a fucking hamburger that smells like France. I don't care. Buy it, man. Get it. I don't even know what France smells like. I don't know what a hamburger would smell like from France. What would it smell like? Let me ask you this, folks. When you've been to Europe, who's been to Europe out there? Who out there knows about the smells of Europe? Nobody. All right, we're back for plugs. And I know you're thinking to yourself, oh, you know what, Mike? You just sat there through the plugs by yourself, sweating at the desk. No, there was a field trip involved. We leapt to our feet. Fearful Jesuit is still here because we were running a little late, and because he was a kind enough person to be an audience member, which he did not have to be, he fell way behind in his packing. So earlier he was doing some hard work at his own show. He was editing some things. I think he was splicing in a clip of Dana speaking French. I know that because I had a hard on for about 45 minutes and don't know why. But he was doing his work. So in doing his work, though, and then he came over to be the audience guy, he left out, quite frankly, a pile of fucking electric spaghetti. Just cords and fucking cords. He used my printer, and I have to be honest, I need a shower. I feel a little dirty right now because the man knew I gave him my Wi-Fi password, and this is a printer that I've owned for, since before the fucking pandemic. And I've only used it twice in my life because I can't ever get it to work. He somehow printed 5 copies of some goddamn form, and he's like, yeah, could you go grab those? And I'm like, yeah, because I work for you now. Sure, why not? But I think he was being kind because the printer's in my bedroom. And he's like, oh, well, I'm not going in there because who the fuck knows what's in there, right? You don't want to step into a goddamn semen-filled bear trap. Oh, my God, does that sound awful? Hold on a second. Jesus Christ, that's not in my room. I don't have any of those things. Well, certainly not a bear trap or a filled. But the other, you're probably going to find some of that in my bedroom. I'm not going to lie to you. Check the ceiling. All right, hi. We did get up and we went out on a little field trip. We went to go eat some food because, look, that's all I have to offer society or anybody who comes to visit me is, hey, man, let's go eat. But earlier, Jesuit had asked, he's like, hey, man, you know what? I kind of think I want to go to Musso and Frank's. Now, Musso and Frank's, if you don't know what it is a very, very, very famous Hollywood landmark. It has been here forever. It is the first place in America to ever make fettuccine Alfredo. Now, do I believe that to be true? I don't, but it's what their menu will tell you, and it spells it out very clearly. And apparently it was like literally like Clara Bow in between getting fucked by the entire USC football team and her good friend Marion Motley, also known as John Wayne. They went across the seas over to Italy, and they had, and this is totally true, they tell this story. I think it's like, it's Douglas Sirk and Marianne Give Me an Oscar. I don't know who the fuck it was, but they go to Italy, and they go to Chef Alfredo's place, and he makes them fettuccine Alfredo. They're like, what a delight. Can we have the recipe? And he says, oh, no, you cannot have it. And they're like, what? I don't understand why we can. Oh, no, you cannot have it. Out, Americans. And he's like, and they're like, what the hell? So they're on a honeymoon, and they loved it, and they wanted to go back. So the next night they go, and whether he was just an Italian gentleman who didn't have a good sense of recognition and didn't realize it was the same two people, or he realized that he had been crass and terrible the night before, he allowed them to dine again. They dined once again on fettuccine Alfredo, and get this, Marianne Give Me an Emmy and fucking Douglas Sirk said, hey, guess what? We love your pasta. And he's like, mangiare pasta. And they said, we brought you a gift. He said, me? A gift? A gift? And they said, yeah, we brought you a golden fork and knife. Because I don't know, that's what celebrities and Americans do in Italy. They love a pasta so much. The next day they go find a Giuseppe to mold them a golden fork and knife. And this, I am not lying to you, this story is on the menu. Literally, it's 2 paragraphs full. And they said, here is your golden fork and knife. And they handed it to him, and he said, oh, no one ever gave me a gift like this before. Here is a recipe for a fettuccine Alfredo, but please, keep it to yourselves. Don't share it with that Musso and the Frank. And they come back to America, and the first fucking thing they do, because they are greedy celebs, is go to Musso and Frank and go, hey, here, make this for us. And Musso and Frank are like, first of all, fuck you. We've been here forever. We're a dominant restaurant, and we don't need to do what you say. And they said, well, there might be a golden fork and knife in it for you. And Musso said, I will not do it. I cannot do it. Because Musso, he knew Alfredo. That's why Alfredo said, don't bring it there. They have a rivalry going way back. But Frank was like, yeah, no, you know what? Hey, I tell you what, we can do that. So they took the recipe, and they made a fettuccine Alfredo for Douglas Sirk and his girlfriend, Marianne Give Me an EGOT. And they loved it. And the story now lives on forever. on the menu. Now, did we order the fettuccine Alfredo? Fuck no, we did not. Because this is a place with an open grill that is known for chops and steaks and sweetbreads. And it's the thing. This is the second time I've eaten there this year. And I'll tell you this. Second time I've ever eaten there in history. And I will tell you, you know what? The last time I was there, this is totally true. The last time I was here's how old Hollywood this place is. Last time I was there, I saw Ted Lange eat a shrimp cocktail. Now, who is Ted Lange, you may ask? Well, that, of course, is Isaac the bartender from The Love Boat. And guess what else? I saw him eat a Caesar salad. I know you're thinking to yourself, well, so what, buddy? You just saw him eat a shrimp cocktail. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. I saw him eat a crab Louie. Not only did he eat a crab Louie, Ted Lange ate some of my crab Louie. You're goddamn right. That's a story for another time, folks. But this was my second trip to Musso and Frank. And if you don't know what it is, again, very famous Hollywood place. It's in the film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It is in the first scene where Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio are there to meet Al Pacino. That is the restaurant that they are in. And I will tell you this, the restaurant, so much smaller in person. It looks vast and expansive in the movie, and then you get in there and it's a little cracker box, but it's fine. But also it is so old school. It's got like captains at the desk, Vegas style, maitre d's and stuff. And then I will say that tonight's waiter was not as chatty as my last waiter, but they are excellent and they answer all of your questions. And it has old school dishes, not just the pilfered fettuccine Alfredo recipe, the hot, smuggled out of Italy fettuccine Alfredo recipe, but also they make grenadines of beef. They make you some sweetbreads. They got all your other favorites. You got your, like I said, you mentioned they got the shrimp Louis, they got the crab Louis, they got a seafood Louis, they have a French onion soup, they got potatoes au gratin, they got, oh, brace yourselves, folks, a Lyonnaise potatoes, so incredibly delicious. And so Jesuit and I went there, and he wanted to go because mainly he wanted a martini. I said, cool. And then he was like, well, we're going to eat while we're there. And I was like, oh, okay, if we're eating, that's fine. And Jesuit was very kind to me, and he bought me dinner. He didn't have to do that. I don't know why he did it, but he did. And what did we order? Well, we ordered goddamn everything, pretty much. We ordered steak tartare with a quail egg. We ordered a Caesar salad and the French onion soup. He had a New York strip steak that was medium rare. And we ordered some Lyonnaise potatoes. We ordered some potatoes au gratin. We ordered what can only be described as a grain elevator full of mushrooms. It was, look, when you look at the menu and it says sauteed mushrooms, $14. Holy Jesus Christ. You know, you couldn't possibly get your money's worth for $14 of the mushrooms. It doesn't matter. They could give you 1,000 mushrooms, but still, they were delicious and they were meaty. But they were many. They were legion. That's how many goddamn mushrooms were in the house. I had a couple, but it's just an overwhelming. I love sautéed mushrooms, but it can be an overwhelming, overpowering flavor, and it was just that tonight for me. I couldn't deal with it. And then. By the way, I've just now talked, I think, fucking 8 minutes about what I ordered at a fucking restaurant. God damn it, I'm so ridiculous. All right, so, what did I get for dinner, you're asking? Well, I'll tell you right now. I got myself some Frenched Colorado lamb chops. And they were delightful. I like a lamb chop. I will say these lamb chops, you could taste the gaminess in this lamb, but it worked. It was very delicious. And they brought me 4 fucking lamb chops, which is... That's like fucking family of 4 size. No, thank you. That's right. 1 lamb chop per person. Back the fuck off. So I had a couple of those. I had some of Jesuit steak, but I will tell you this, even on top of everything else, Jesuit got a martini. It was the first thing he ordered, and he ordered a dirty martini is what they called it. And that just sounds like somebody who worked for Lily at the Tees. Like I get no fucking idea who Dirty Martini is. But sure enough, it came to the table. And it was cloudy as fuck, and there's 2 olives in it. And he holds it out to me. And he's like, oh, man, a dirty martini means extra olive juice. And I'm like, you are not selling this drink. That is not something I'm about to climb on board because you know me, I don't like booze. There's not a lot I don't like less than booze. Olives would be on that list. I don't care for olives. I don't know. And also there's 2 olives in his drink, which is one thing. They're just hitchhikers. It's bad enough they're in there. Bad optics for me. But then he's like, yeah, the reason it's dirty is because they pour a bunch of olive juice in there. And I'm like, this is fucking disgusting. Let me ask you this: do they pour it on the floor and wring it out with a mop and wring it out into your cup? What do they do? But he's like, go ahead and try it, and I tried it, folks, and it tasted, man. You know what it tasted like? It tasted like drinking NyQuil out of a human ass. It was so nasty. It just tasted like medicine. It was so, and I made a face. I was like, bleh, so gross, dudes. I didn't care for it. And look, again, I was predisposed to not like this fucking thing. It's not like the magical combination of two things I hate was going to be something I like. All of a sudden, it's going to win me over. Hold on a second. I hate both of these things. In fact, I hate glass. And then served in one. So I got to be honest with you, this is a hat trick of hate. And yet I tried it because I'm a trooper and my friend was paying. So I gave it a sip and I made a face. And I got to be honest, I made a sour face. And I held the face for 45 seconds. And it wasn't like for show. I truly felt like that inside and out. I just felt displeased, I think would be the word I would use. I just wasn't, I felt betrayed. I felt disturbed. I felt all of these things inside, and I didn't care for them, and you could read them on my face. Not good. But I tried it. I'm a grown-up. And then our friend Jesuit got drunk, and here's the thing I just learned about Fearful Jesuit. He doesn't care what drips anywhere. He doesn't. He gathered up a spoonful of French onion soup. And then he talked with his hands while the soup was poised to be eaten and ignored it as he talked to me as if I was a child waiting for the airplane to bring me my food in a high chair. He's waving this soup in my face as a threat. I was threatened with a spoonful of onions, folks. And I very carefully kept my lips shut because I was waiting at any second for him to plunge it into my mouth. It would have been terrifying. But he was waving it around and the broth was going everywhere. It is a very liquid base. He spit on me during my show. He dripped broth on me at the place. I'll tell you what, this is a guy, I'm going to call him, you know what? I'm going to call him Fearful Expectorations instead of Fearful Jesuit. You got it. But again, the dinner's paid for, so I can say these things now. I couldn't say them there. I just had a mask of broth dripping off of my face. This is great. Thank you, sir. I got bukkakied with French onion soup. We ate the tartare. Now, and again, I will tell you this, the tartare, a delicate dish, yet a manly dish, but a delicate dish. And it came in it was ring molded or whatever. And it had quail egg on top. And Jesuit just smashes his fork into it. I mean, and I go, dude, aren't you going to get shell in the meat? He's like, the most important part is to get the yolk mixed in with all of the steaks. And I said, yeah, I know, but couldn't you tip over the egg instead of trying to go through the shell? And he's like, I'll tell you what. And then he took it came with cornichons were mixed into the steak tartare, and it was a delight. It was very delicious. But it also came with crostini. And here's how Jesuit handles things. Jesuit picked up a crostini and balanced it on his thumb and took his other three fingers with some lettuce and scooped together like a sandwich of the tartare with the arugula and the crostini and then jammed it in his maw as if he were trying to win a contest. And it was terrifying. It was, I've used that word several times here, but I can think of no other word. Oh, certainly I was. Yeah, anybody who eats food down to their wrist, absolutely, totally impresses me. Wait a second, what are you doing there? I expected your hand to emerge degloved. So he had that, and then we split the soup, and he had a couple of martinis. It was delicious. It was a delightful meal, and it was great. And it's you're in there amidst people who are dressed, some people are dressed fancy. There was a young man and his mother were right by us. Young might be a strong word because he had a beard that was as gray as the North Pole. And then there was a guy who was being a wine guy. That was fun to watch. It was a dude with a date. He had a girlfriend. And I got to be honest with you, it worked. You could see her beaming as he held the glass by the base and he spun it around to see how the wine would leave an oil slick, I guess, on his glass. And then he I don't care. So it was all right. He's seeing if his wine had legs. And then he spun the other around. And then he sipped them, and I didn't hear the vampire noise, but I know he was swishing. And his lovely bride or girlfriend or Tinder date was staring at him like, ooh, he knows wine. And then he chose, and they left it to him, and he you know what else he did? And this is so dumb. I didn't even tell Jesuit this. His girl got dessert, and he did not. And then she picked up her fork with cake on it and kind of like did that all open wide, and she held it to his face, and he was like, no. And she's like, oh, just have a bite. And he's like, no. Just very calmly, just nodded his head, no. And I, for some reason, instinctively opened my mouth. like she was going to somehow launch it across the table and land it in my gullet. I was excited about the possibility. Huh? I'm not going to say no to you. I don't care about the legs on the goddamn booze. Give me some fucking cake. It was a delight. We went there. We walked past several homeless families who now live on Hollywood Boulevard. And now we're back, and we're here, and we're ready to talk to you guys. We're not really. Folks, if you don't know anything about Fearful Jesuit, let me tell you this, other than the fact that he's drunk right now, and
Really not.
And he drips soup all over himself. He is... He is a soup dripping man, ladies and gentlemen. Just flinging broth to and or fro. People getting coated in it. It was terrible. It looked like you were like riding a savory splash mountain. That's what it was like having dinner with our friend Jesuit tonight. I am glad the Caesar was lightly dressed, lest I be coated in it already. But our friend, Fearful Jesuit, also, as I've mentioned earlier, he was doing some work over on his couch. And that work that he was doing was of the podcast variety. He was editing and doing things for his show that he does. But I will tell you this, there's an episode. Now, because you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, I can't wait to hear that episode. And I don't blame you. However, I will tell you this, there is an episode that you can listen to right now. What? Yeah, you're goddamn right. Paranoid Strain Secret Societies, Part 11. Part 11, ladies and gentlemen. Are you kidding me? I, you know me, I'm hiding under coats. I'm not doing shows. This guy's got an 11-part fucking series. What the fuck, man? What are you, efficient? What a drag. But again, you know what? That's why he can come to LA and get fucking ripped. Why he's like, you know what? I'm going to go party with Bacchanalia and get fucking loaded down there in LA because I did my hard work in the fucking compound and now I'm ready to hit the town. He's actually riding a train across the United States, and that's not a lie. He's going to Kansas City, and here's what he's like, hey, man, if you know anything to do in Chicago, like, tell me. And I'm like, I haven't been there in 25 years. He's like, you've been there sooner than me. And I'm like, that's a good point. Yeah, all right, I'll think of some stuff. And he asked if there was anything in Kansas City that he could do. And I just told him to go to Oklahoma Joe's and get the burnt ends, courtesy of my friend Scott Phillips, who brought me there when I was in town doing a show. Remember when I did shows? Remember when I'd go on the town and go to places? Wasn't that great? I mean, I wasn't foolish enough to take a train, but certainly I was all over the place and having a good time. I did a show in the basement of a coffee house in Kansas City. It was fantastic. Another great show. Everybody loved it. I don't know. Why did I have to throw that part in? Everybody loved it. I promise. Everybody loved it. Shut up. Great. It was so good. Paranoid Strain Secret Societies Part 11. Now, please remember, this is merely one ingredient of a podcast bouillabaisse. There are many, many ingredients that you can sample. The previous 10 are also available. Let me ask you this. This is, as I've mentioned, this is how many, this is one ingredient. How many ingredients in this bouillabaisse? Who fucking knows? I have no idea. All I know is every week it's like a new one. He's just like, hey, episode fucking 41 is up now. Jesus fucking Christ. How much bullshit did the Templars get into? These idiots, man. What the hell? But there, so this is Paranoid Strain Secret Societies Part 11, available now in the iTunes Store, wherever you get your finest podcasts. You want to learn this? Who is Pierre Plantard? Well, you're going to find out in this particular episode, ladies and gentlemen. You'll hear about Putnam and Wood. You will not hear about Chad and Jeremy nor Putney and Swope. They will not be involved, but Putnam and Wood definitely involved. You will learn what the answer to what is French for butler. That will be contained within as one of the mysteries contained within Paranoid Strain Secret Societies Part 11. Yes. Okay, you're good with me so far. Now I know what you're thinking. You guys have been waiting to hear this because of the last couple of times I've described these episodes, folks. So much French Dana. So much French Dana. I could just picture her delicate tongue curling around these les habitants, whatever the fuck else. She's just a walking accent mark, and god damn was I turgid. I was so fucking excited for so much French Dana. It's there. Because I know you thought the last one. Nope. This one's got some massive French Dana. It's fucking amazing. You will hear rumors of a Jewish Masonic conspiracy again. How many Jewish Masonic conspiracies can we have in the world at one time? And it's just the go-to at this point. It's literally these dudes are like, yeah, you know what? Probably the Jews. What? Again? All right, with them, with the Jews, and all right, that makes sense because nobody's going to. People are going to ask questions. No, they're not. You'll hear about somebody planting fake documents in the Bibliothèque Nationale. Now, will you hear what Bibliothèque Nationale means? You will not. You'll have to figure it out on your own. But there's the planting of fake documents at the Bibliothèque Nationale, essentially creating history. Because the Bibliothèque Nationale is it's the storehouse, the bellwether, it's where all of France's basic national history is contained. And these guys were sneaking in and adding in fake documents so it made their stories ring more true. It's insane. And they got away with it somehow. Who's asleep at the fucking wheel at the Bibliothèque Nationale? God damn, buddy. Let's see. You'll hear about how Plantard wanted to be famous. He wanted to be a noble. That's what they thought. Everybody thought that he wanted to be famous and wanted to be a noble. And then with the planting of the fake documents and then the game of telephone that they played throughout this fucking world, it turned out that eventually he was a living descendant of Jesus Christ. Quite a leap, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to lie. It was a guy who, he just wanted to be kind of famous. He didn't want to be a fucking dirt farmer or whatever the fuck he was. He's like, yeah, I just want people to know my name. He wanted to go with Cheers, man. He wanted everybody to know his name. He didn't exactly want to claim to be Jesus' stepson who couldn't catch a football. But he did. He made it. And to the point where he freaks out. They start to make him the Jesus kid, and he's like, yeah, I'm out. I couldn't possibly. Thank you for all of this. You hear about a rogue priest. There's a rogue priest involved. There are so many fucking scams detailed in this fucking episode. Everybody is getting over on everybody. It's all the same shit. And I don't know how. I don't know why. And I'm bullshit. I do. Because I was like, in my mind, I'm like, well, this is the fucking dark ages. This is a bunch of fucking potato eaters who don't even know what the fuck is going on. Yet you can look in the news today and same fucking people are believing all the same dumb shit. It's just ridiculous. And oh my God, it's horrifying. Horrifying. You'll hear about Plantard and De Charisse, who it's De Charisse, right? De Charisse. I wanted to say, I didn't know exactly how to say that. You'll hear about Labino and Shidloff. I don't even know what the fuck that sounds awful. You'll hear about some blue apples. Are you ready for that? Go ahead and brace yourself and hear about some blue apples. You'll hear, all right, so you know what? I will say this happens as well. I was not ready for this to happen. There was an unanticipated J'accuse. There was an out of the blue Napoleon, an unforeseen Diane Franklin, and an unpredicted Le Pew shows up, ladies and gentlemen. All in that order, I believe. All attempts by Jesuit to fool the listener, and he would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for that meddling unicorn. I'll tell you that. She snatched the mask right off his face. Because he leaped up with the unanticipated J'accuse and the out of the blue Napoleon, an unforeseen Diane Franklin, and an unpredicted Le Pew. You'll hear about the terrible secret of the pentacle, which is, again, my favorite Hardy Boys novel. And you'll also hear about the Visigothic altar pillar, whom I saw open for the polyphonic spree at Burberry. So all of these are contained in Paranoid Strain Secret Societies Part 11, available now wherever your finer podcasts are sold and your middle of the road podcasts are given away free. You can find both of us in that fucking bargain bin. Go ahead and check it out. You can also write him a note. If you want to write our friend, Fearful Jesuit, a note, go ahead and find him. Here's the email address: theparanoidstrain@gmail.com. theparanoidstrain@gmail.com. Write him a note. Tell him you love me. You love the show. Maybe not in that order. Tell him you love his show first, and then talk about me if you want. Or at least do a paragraph on me. And make it the last paragraph. That's fine. But make sure he feels good about himself and his position in the podcast world first. And then say, and you've got to give a big back slap and some lamb chops to your friend Mike for bringing you to our attention. Sure, that's right. So go ahead and do that. Reach out to the man and leave a review if you would in the iTunes store. Go ahead and do that. And also interact with him on Facebook. What's the Facebook page? Just the Paranoid Strain?
Yeah, it's just look up the Paranoid
Cool. Yeah, just Google the Paranoid Strain or whatever. Look up the Paranoid Strain on Facebook. He's getting a nice little audience interacting with him, listening to the show, commenting and stuff, and he appreciates that very much. And he would like you to do that also, like I said, on the iTunes Store. If you can leave a review, makes him look like a hitter. Tell him, say good things about him. And please remember, this is number 11, and it climaxes with an amazing badass ending. It has a fucking badass 2-minute recap that is just gorgeous, and it's worth hearing. And I think it sums up. I think that means you're done with secret societies. Am I correct?
No.
He's not done with secret society, so there will be. So, folks, oh my gosh, there's going to be a part 12. Oh, isn't that great? I can only hope the Visigothic altar pillar make an appearance.
Part 18.
Wow. Well, I'm assuming that won't come until after. Don't do it next.
After 12.
Yeah, I said don't do it next. No, I think 11. Unless there's some conspiracy about how numbers work, then go ahead and please use that. But check it out, man. It's the Paranoid Strain Podcast. Available wherever the finer podcasts are. I think it's in Spotify. It's probably at Audible. And it's over there in the iTunes podcast space / the iTunes Store. Leave a review and enjoy it. My friend does a great product, and I'm happy to be associated with it. So go ahead and please check out my friend Fearful Jesuit's show, The Paranoid Strain. You want to hire me for stuff? Maybe a cameo? I have to do a cameo tonight. I'm not kidding. It's like midnight, and I'm fucking fried. And yet, when this is finished, folks, because my public is ever demanding, I have to do a podcast, a cameo. I had someone hired me to do a cameo. This is completely true, and it said, "Hey, we had a team that didn't have a great year, and we were kind of going to try to find the actual Mike Schmidt to do a message for us, but we couldn't, so we thought we'd go with you." So I said, all right, I need $11, so let's do it. And by the way, you know how every week I say I need $15? Guess what changed? Oh, that's right. It's the cameo payout that I was stunned to find is now down. I charge 20. I get 11. And I was like, really? Because apparently now Apple has a charge of like fucking $6 or something. I don't know. But I will tell you, I was shocked when I saw it. Now, I wasn't that shocked because who the fuck's hiring me to do anything? I like $11 as much as the next guy. That's fine. But I don't. And look, it's not like I'm feverishly opening every email I get from the Cameo peoples. They may have warned me about this previously and I didn't notice it. But yeah, that $20 Cameo, your friend Mike gets 11 of it. And Apple gets like 6, and the Cameo people get like 3 or 4 or whatever. Oh, my Christ. What a mess. But you want to hire me, don't you? Go to bookcameo.com or download the Cameo app to your phone, and you can hire me to do whatever. But I have to do one this evening, as a matter of fact, right when I'm finished with this. And I do appreciate you thinking of hiring me. I can hear it. I can feel it in my bones. Somebody out there right now is thinking of hiring me, and that makes me very happy. So thank you. Please put me on your list. Did you know I'm part of the Misfit Toys Co-op? Well, of course you did, ladies and gentlemen. That includes many different shows. It includes Never Not Funny with our friends Jimmy and Matt and Elliot and Garen. Doug Loves Movies with our good friend Doug. The Todd Glass Show featuring Todd Glass. No Fun with Jen Kirkman with the unbelievably prolific and funny Jen Kirkman. And then Let Me Watch Your Movie with You with Jonah Ray. Jonah's involved in that show. Jen, Jonah, Todd, Doug, Jimmy, Matt, everybody over at the Misfit Toys Co-op deserves your attention. All those shows are available on Spotify and also in the iTunes Store. So go ahead and check them out, download them, subscribe to all of us. Here's the thing that you don't know. That's 5 shows and I'm the 6th. If you subscribe to all 6 of the Misfit Toys Co-op shows, you get a free small fries. So that'll be great. Watch your mailbox. I must tell you, we rush them out to you immediately. So go ahead and check that out. What else, man? Oh, yeah, you know what? Patreon. I got a Patreon. Patreon.com/Mike40YOB. That's Patreon.com/Mike40YOB. Everybody is very kind to think of me and support the show and put themselves in the, I was going to say in the way of, in harm's way, but you're not in harm's way on there. But I do appreciate you going ahead and signing up. And I will right now shout out my good friend. Who's this? Well, it's our great friend Kingsley Dwyer. Kingsley Dwyer, I believe, is in Australia, and he is a fantastic guy. He has stepped up and become a patron over there at Patreon. I appreciate it. I first made Kingsley's acquaintance on a very special Rock Solid episode that I did that won't be out until September. And I know you're thinking to yourself, well, why the fuck did you record it now? Why? Because Pat's good at his job and very efficient. So he's got a ton of me in the can. That didn't sound good at all. That sounded fucking awful. Pat's got a ton of me in the can. Oh, he won't sit down for weeks. But yeah, there's a show that's coming out in September. Do you remember? 21st night of September. The show's going to be me and Pat talking about Guns N' Roses. That's right, Guns N' Roses. Use Your Illusions 1 and 2. That'll be out. If you subscribe now, you can actually, I think, listen to it. Subscribe to Rock Solid's Patreon, but I can't tell you about that. Fuck that. Give me money. Don't give Pat money, for fuck's sake. But if you give me money over there at patreon.com/Mike40YOB, I'd appreciate it. Like our good friend Kingsley Dwyer from Australia, and there's only one thing to say about that.
G'day, mate.
G'day, mate. I actually have an Australia button. I know you're thinking to yourself, how the fuck did that happen? A listener of the show, Ruben, sent it to me, and I'll bang it occasionally when I'm on Twitch. What's Twitch, you ask? I'm glad you asked. But first, let me finish and tell you that Patreon exists. Go to patreon.com/Mike40YOB and become a patron of this show. And just do it. Just please. I mean, I had to eat counterfeit lamb chops tonight because a guy bought them for me. All right, I can't afford my own lamb chops. Here, you want to hear a guilt trip? My little brother texted me while I was eating with our friend Fearful Jesuit, and he's like, "Hey man, you free?" And I took a picture of my lamb chops and my Lyonnaise potatoes. I said, "Man, I can't. I'm sorry, I'm out to dinner right now." And he wrote back and he's, "Oh man, way to make me hungry. No funds, dude. I'm eating ramen." And I'm like, I go, yeah, if I wasn't somebody's guest, I'd be eating at Pizza Hut, because I don't feel like I should be successful either. It just sounds like. I mean, but it's, I felt bad then that I'm sending my brother a picture of lamb chops, especially 4 lamb chops. That just seems like hoggish at that point. Hey, guess what? I have literally 1.5 pounds of Lyonnaise potatoes and 4 lamb chops. You ramen eating motherfucker. Which seems like I could have taken that tack, but instead I go the other way and I feel miserable and bad for everything because why not? But yeah, so I want you to support me on Patreon. It would be great. I'd call you the best person besides Kingsley Dwyer. And, I have the channels, as I've mentioned. I've got twitch.tv/the40year-old-boy, and I've got youtube.com/the40year-old-boy. You can find me at youtube.com/the40year-old-boy. Right now, there's just some there's every episode of this podcast, first of all, and then there's also plenty of other clips of other things. There's some stand-up, and this is completely true, and this will tell you everything you need to know about me. Although if you've listened to this show 2 hours in and you don't know me by now, then this isn't going to fucking help. But here it is. This literally happened. I walked into my gym, and my buddy Mariano was there, and my buddy John's my trainer, and some other people. Brandon owns the gym, a few other people. And I walked in, and I go, and they're like, "Hey, morning." I go, "What's up?" And Mariano goes, "Hey, dude, I went to your YouTube channel, and I watched some of your stand-up." And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that." And everybody fucking cracked up, and then Brandon goes, "Did you say I'm sorry to hear that?" I go, "I did." And then they laughed again, and I'm like, and they're like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "It's a long story. Nobody ever wants to watch that." I go, "That clip is like 18 years old or something." And Mariana goes, "Well, it was still fucking funny. I loved it." And I was like, "All right, well, that's good." And I will say this, it's good when that happens because it shows them that I'm not lying. You know what I mean? When I tell them I'm a comedian, or I have to leave to go out of town and perform, or I have a podcast that's successful, I have to make sure that they know that I'm serious about it. So I'm glad he found me on his own and listened to my stand-up and went, "Okay, good, that's funny." Because can you imagine if I make them laugh in the gym and we crack up and we hang out and stuff like that, and then he finally goes, "You know what? I'm going to find Mike online." And then he finds me and I'm terrible. Like, how awful would that be? That's like, this is completely true. Like, I have talked a bunch of yang on this show about eating pussy. Like, because it's literally my favorite fucking thing in the world to do, and you don't care. And there's some people are like, whatever the fuck. I don't give a fuck. It's my show. I talk about it. And God, I miss it. It's been a while. But I absolutely, it's my favorite fucking thing in the world to do, God damn it. Yeah. And let's put it this way. If it's my favorite thing in the world to do, that might let you know that I'll tell you this. Hey, what did I do at the table tonight, Jesuit?
Ate a lot of lamb chops.
Okay, and what else? When I had a drink, what did I drink? You don't remember this? I tied 2 cherry stems with my tongue today, sitting at the table.
Was deeply disturbing. Yes.
We're just sitting there talking, and I just threw it in my fucking mouth, tied the cherry stem. Now, look, that doesn't really mean a fucking thing. All right, we know this. It takes a lot more than that. But it's just a trick I learned. It's a bar trick, but it's fun to do. And then you pull it out, and it looks like a little fucking Mickey Mouse there. It's all tied up in a knot with his little fucking Martian ear sticking out. And Jesuit is like, oh man, that's like, it's actually disturbing when you do it.
Yeah,
He goes, Sherilyn Fenn, yeah, hot. He goes, but you doing it, it's just kind of like,
not so good.
I don't blame you, and I could see where you wouldn't be wooed by that. And like I said, it doesn't indicate any sort of talent other than the fact that you know a bar trick, certainly. But man, I'm a fan of it, and I am on board with it, and it's my thing. And I don't even remember what the fuck I was talking about. How did I get into this?
Really, all you wanted to talk about was the fact that you could tie cherry.
No, that came up while I was thinking about eating pussy. But I mean, there was a reason. But there was a reason I was talking about eating pussy, and I cannot remember what the fuck it was.
Musso and Frank's.
No, but I said there was it a text or an insult or something like that? I just holy fuck, I can't remember. That's the craziest thing in the world. All right, well, I like to eat pussy. I got no clarification about that. That guy knows.
He appears to.
Oh no! You know what it was? It was in the context of comedy. Because I said, "What if I talked about being a comedian or a podcast and stuff like that?" And then they watched me, and I was terrible. And this completely happened. I'm not going to go into it, but there was a girl I went down on, and it touchdown. I mean, it was fine. Everything was great, and it because again, I like my job is my point. And and then when your hair is getting yanked out of your fucking head, and then their heels are digging into your fucking shoulders and your fucking trapezius muscles, and God damn it, there's nothing better. And breathing quickens, and you move here and you go there, and dudes, there's nothing better at all than being in full control of that fucking situation and knowing that they're letting you be. It's there. You know what? You're driving, but they're along for the fucking ride, and I'm a fan. So. So it was the first time I did it with this particular person, and and then you're holding them, whatever the fuck, and they got the flushed cheeks and afterglow and the whole whatever the thing, and this person looked at me and she was just like, oh my God, and I was holding her and I just went, what if I was terrible at it? All the shit I talk about it, and then what if I went down and I was like, alphabet, C. You know what I mean? Capital D. Hold on, I'm almost finished, ma'am. Oh gee, here's a big F. Big F coming. Fuck off, man. Jesus Christ, how terrible would that be? If all of a sudden, again, you can't talk all that shit and then just be awful. Because what does the person do? The person's just got to find a way out, man. Like, it's funny with all these hookup apps and shit like that. Like, I've never been lucky enough to be a hookup guy. Maybe in my 20s, I'd wind up with people and stuff like that. There'd be some one-night stands and shit like that. But I'm never attractive enough or appealing enough to be a hookup guy. I just don't have the fucking equipment needed. You know what I mean? And I can't imagine what it would be like if you hooked up with somebody and the sex was fucking awful. And then you're like, all right, well, what do we do here? Do we get breakfast? Like, what the fuck happens? Do I make toast for this person as we callously stare at each other in disappointment? I couldn't even think about it. I don't look. And also, if it was a terrible fuck and the whole night was a bust, and then they wanted to go eat lunch or something, I'd be like, look, man, I didn't even have good fun fucking you. I don't want to eat a 3-bean salad with you. That just sounds atrocious, man. But I don't know. I mean, I guess you're supposed to make that effort the next day. And look, when you first hook up with somebody, it's always, sometimes you zig when you're supposed to zag, and it takes a while till you learn everybody's rhythm and shit like that, which is another reason why, to me, one night stands never really made a lot of sense. I mean, it did when I was alone on the fucking road and doing shit like that. And also you can't fuck up head. Well, I mean, I can't, but I mean, other people possibly could. But but the rest of the time, man, if you wind up, you fuck somebody and you pull your dick out and you come all over their thigh before anything happens, you're just like, oh man, what's gonna happen? This is fucking terrible. And then, what do you do then? You cuddle and sleep? I don't even know, man. I've had my share of awkward experiences. Here's one now. No, it's not happening.
If there's anything I like more than me, it's people who like me. I love me, but if you love me, I love you. 'Cause you know why we both love me. How how great am I? Let's talk about that for a while, and by a while, I mean forever.
Imagine being able to detangle, dry, and style with one tool. Just in time for back to school, the Infinity Pro by Conair with the Knot Doctor all-in-one dryer brushes do it all for frizz-free salon results at home. The pink smoothing brush has 136 Flexolite bristles for painless detangling and 1,000 watts of high-performance power for smooth, shiny results. And the purple large oval dryer brush creates glam waves and comes with a bonus volumizing attachment for added lift and volume at the roots. The all-in-one dryer brushes are perfect for all hair types with 3 heat settings for customized styling and frizz-fighting technology that leaves hair shiny and manageable. These styling essentials are your prescription for salon results at home. Go to Conair.com to get your Infinity Pro by Conair with the Knot Doctor all-in-one dryer brush or all-in-one smoothing dryer brush now.